And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2016 championship game of the Solano Invitational Collegiate Tournament between the West Coast Kings and the Auburn Wildcats. Brian Nelson here alongside my broadcast partner Tristan Victor here on the campus of Solano Community College at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium. And you can only watch this championship game on the Solano College Sports Network. There you get a look at Dylan Spezia. The pitcher out of Sierra College will be on the mound for the West Coast Kings. And now, before we break this game down, let's throw it to our third member of our broadcast, McKenna Guerrero, with a word from her.
Hey guys, I'm McKenna Guerrero, SCSN reporter, and thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
All right, thank you, McKenna. And Tristan, to get to this point in the tournament, the West Coast Kings beat NBO baseball in the first semifinal, and we witnessed the end of a great game for semifinal number 2 with the Sacramento M's losing to the Auburn Wildcats, with the Wildcats coming back in the bottom of the 7th inning.
What I've been impressed with in this tournament the most is the even level of competition. There have not been many blowout games. Both teams have had to win some really close games to get to this point, and I anticipate today they're going to have to win another close one to win the championship.
And leading off for the Wildcats, they will be the visiting team is Sam Lee Curtis out of Sierra College. So a couple Sierra College teammates facing each other, and we've seen that multiple times here during the tournament and summer season. First pitch from Spezia is fouled off, out of play, strike one.
The Auburn Wildcats are riding an emotional high coming off of a walk-off win. Just moments ago, about 30 minutes before this game started, they took a game that they were trailing, heading into the 7th, walked off on a walk with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Curtis squared around a bunt but pulled back in time, 1-1.
Yeah, it was a thrilling ending. They were down to their last strike with nobody in scoring position, just a runner on first, 2 outs, down by a run, and managed to find a way to get here.
1-1 pitch. Curtis laces it past the third baseman, fair. Curtis is on the run. He is hustling hard, turn around first. He's going for 2. The left fielder, Olsen, with a strong throw, but not in time as Sam Lee Curtis leads off with a double.
A great start to the game right there from Curtis. He's showing you that they are not too tired to play this game. I think that all the adrenaline rush off of the last game probably cancels out most of their exhaustion, and a great swing from Curtis to jump on this one early.
Elizabeth, you get the batteries facing you. Alexis on the pitcher. There we go.
So just a quick correction. That's actually Kyle Franco on the mound, not Spezia. So Kyle Franco on the mound for the West Coast Kings as he'll face Tyler Malone, the shortstop, here batting in the 2-hole with a runner in scoring position. Time is called. Let's set up the defense for the Kings. Behind the plate is Ray Soderman. Jacob Schimenz and Graham Pimm are on the left side of the infield at third and short, respectively. John Nejedly and Dante Perreti at second and first. Bunt to the first base side is going to be fielded by Franco's. Flip play is close, and he is safe. Tyler Malone beats out a bunt to the left side, and there are going to be runners at the corners to lead off this ball game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what route Franco was trying to take that ball. He didn't take a direct route. He actually kind of circled around it, and that allowed Malone to get a couple extra steps in there. Malone was digging hard. Great bunt, way to move the runner up, but he also beat it out for a single, and now the Wildcats have a great chance here right away.
And this is the man at the plate who got the walk-off walk with the bases loaded and 2 outs, Ethan Joyce, who looks at ball 1 on the inside.
Yeah, Joyce had an outstanding single to the right side to tie up the game in the last one. Also great job by the runner who scored from second on that ground ball.
Franco here in trouble early on. Joyce hits it well to center field. Juarez is on his horse, and he cannot get there. He'll get to the wall, bounces high. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and Ethan Joyce will be standing at second with a 2 RBI double.
Yeah, we heard that he was the player of the game in that last game, and an outstanding single we mentioned to tie it up, and now here he is showing off his power to dead center field off the wall with no hop, scores 2 runs. Great swing there from Ethan Joyce.
So the Wildcats are just feeding off the momentum of that come-from-behind win. If you were to ask people an hour ago, the Wildcats were out of this tournament, but now they are jumping ahead 2-0 here against the West Coast Kings.
That shows you how quickly things can turn. You're never out until the game's over.
First pitch he went around on it did Jack Veasey. And due to the late nature of who was going to be the teams playing in this game, we just have visitor and home. I'll keep reminding you that the Auburn Wildcats are the visitors as Veasey swings and misses. That one gets by the catcher Soderman and allows Joyce to advance to third. Wasn't sure if he might have foul tipped it, but obviously the umpire said he missed it completely.
Yeah, Soderman really lacked any kind of urgency when he got up on that one, and that allowed the runner at second, who froze first off, not thinking it was far enough to go, to kind of just easily get in there.
Swing and a miss for strike 3, so the first out is recorded by Kyle Franco here. And so Jake Faulkner has an RBI opportunity with 1 out, runner at third. 2 runs have come across here in the top of the first.
Yeah, Franco really needed that out to start himself off, and now maybe he can set a little bit of a rhythm down, only down by 2.
Franco with the first pitch low and away. Ball 1. And let me finish setting up the defense. I got through the infield. The outfield is Sawyer, Olsen, and left Eddie Juarez, who was in center, and that's where Joyce hit it over Juarez's head, and Kyle McKean round out your starting outfield for the West Coast Kings. Strike 1. Evens the count 1-1 on Jake Faulkner. As you get a look at Kyle Franco with the pitch. That is hit well, but that's going to drift foul out of play.
And fortunate for the Kings that he got a little out in front of that one, because that one had home run distance.
So Faulkner behind in the count now, 1-2. Franco gave up 3 straight hits to start out this ball game, a double to Sam Lee Curtis, and it was a good hustle by Curtis to take second base. Tyler Malone singled with a bunt to put runners at the corners, and Joyce drove them both home. Next pitch is a ball, 2-2.
Yeah, Faulkner putting together a pretty good at-bat here. He's trying to battle and get that runner home from third.
The Kings are playing in on the defense on the infield, trying to protect that runner from third. That one's hit well, but foul, and it clipped the manager for the Auburn Wildcats.
Man, that one was really close. He almost took his manager out. That could have been a very ugly scene here at Billy and Luis Yarborough Stadium.
Yeah, I never like to see you take out your own manager. Could you imagine, like, the stretcher's coming out and you carry the guy away like it's soccer or something? 2-2. That one's taken high, 3-2.
They would have needed several stretchers to take him out.
Hey, that is Tristan Vector, folks, at the Solano College Sports Network. Send your hate mail to him. 3-2. That one is looked at for ball 4, did not go around. So good job of Faulkner holding up on that pitch. Easily could have gone around.
Important to mention, this home plate umpire is disliked by the far majority of pitchers we've seen. So is the second base umpire. They've been switching out this series, but I haven't seen either one really call a regular strike zone. They've been really shallow and short with their strike zones.
Yeah, not a lot of corner room for either umpire so far, as Kyle Dixon looks at a first pitch ball. The first baseman, Dixon, has runners at the corners, 1 out. Franco with the pitch. It is hit fair, I believe. No, it just went foul. I thought it could have bounced over the third base bag, but it just went to the left of it, so it is a foul ball.
And that could have scored 2 more runs right there if you put that one into the bullpen and it stops over by that tarp.
Yeah, Joyce would have walked home, who was standing at third. Faulkner at first, who just walked. 1-1 pitch. High, got out of the way of that one. Had a duck out of the way, did Dixon.
Yeah, that's a brushback pitch way up and in.
He just lost control of that breaking ball, just squirted out of the hands, and Dixon was wise to get out of the way of that one. Kyle Dixon comes set here with 1 out. That was taking the one away, ball 2.
And I know that breaking ball wasn't intentionally up and in, but it's always good for a pitcher to get hitters' feet to move a little more and make them feel uncomfortable, and not enough pitchers practice that anymore.
So Dixon here comes set with the pitch. That is hit foul. Evens the count 2-2.
Another really good at-bat here. The Wildcats have come, and they're ready to battle. Franco's not getting any easy outs.
So a little pause in the action as the umpire corrects the count. It's 3-2, I believe.
Full count.
So we'll see if the runner at first goes. He bluffs, and he takes strike 3 on the outside corner, and he punches him out for out number 2.
The best part about that strikeout call was he didn't say anything. Usually you hear this just big, loud strike 3. He just moved his arms.
So that'll bring up Taylor Field, the DH. Here in an RBI situation with a runner at third. Field pops it up, though. We'll see who is underneath it. The right fielder comes in, McKean. He puts it away for out number 3. Now before the Auburn Wildcats score 2 here in the top of the first to lead off this ball game, they will take a 2-0 lead heading into the bottom of the first. So Dylan Spezia will look to keep this 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Let's set the defense for the Auburn Wildcats. Catching Spezia will be Mike Phelan, the catcher. Kyle Dixon's at first. Taylor Holman at second. Tyler Malone playing shortstop. Ethan Joyce playing third. Jake Faulkner's in left. Sam Lee Curtis is in center. And Jack Veasey is in right. Due up for the West Coast Kings will be Graham Pimm, Eddie Juarez, and Jacob Schimenz, should anybody get on. Jason Hare, the DH, will be batting cleanup. Kyle McKean is in the 5-hole, playing right. Ray Soderman is the catcher batting 6th. Sawyer Olsen, the left fielder, is batting 7th. Dante Perreti is the first baseman and batting 8th. And John Nejedly, the second baseman, rounds up your starting batting lineup for the West Coast Kings. So Spezia finishes warm-up tosses, gives a little pound to his third baseman, Ethan Joyce.
The West Coast Kings need to get some momentum back here after struggling. They gave up 2 runs early in the first inning.
And we've seen their offense score a lot of runs here in the tournament. They won a 3-1 pitchers duel on the first day of the tournament, beating the Solano Mudcats, and then beat the Sacramento M's 14-6 in their second game. So they can put up offensive numbers as Graham Pimm looks at a first pitch ball. Shortstop here looking to get on to lead off this ball game for the West Coast Kings as he fouls one off, 1-1.
Yeah, it's definitely important that the leadoff hitter gets on base. He's got to do whatever he can here, work the count, walk, single, hit by pitch, whatever he's got to do.
Spezia jams him. It's going to stay in play for Dixon, the first baseman, and he puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, great pitch right there by Spezia in on the hands after that last one was outside and away. Got him to pull his hands in there and just get under it. So that was a great pitch by Spezia.
So after recording the first out, Eddie Juarez, the left-handed hitting center fielder, will be batting.
And Elizabeth, you're on the batter.
Spezia's first pitch is hit foul, straight behind us. Strike 1.
And the Kings are coming out aggressive here. They're not taking any first pitch strikes. If it's down there, they're trying to swing at it.
Juarez with the 0-1 looks at an outside corner. This umpire has a very deliberate strike call. We saw it on the punch out. It was like he was in slow motion. And there on that strike 2 call. 0-2 on the outside. 1-2.
Yeah, you got to love the umpires that are also showmen. Got to make things a little interesting, you know.
Yeah, for the crowd, it's definitely interesting as that one hit Juarez. So after he falls behind in the count 1-2, Juarez gets hit by a pitch for the first base runner for the West Coast Kings.
Yeah, that's a gift right there. You hate to see that if you're Spezia. You're ahead in the count 1-2, and then you just gift wrap a trip to the bases. So you never want to see that.
Yeah, Jacob Schimenz now, the third baseman, will be batting. Teammates with Eddie Juarez at Sterling. That one is fouled off. Strike one.
Like I said, the Kings are really coming out aggressive and swinging at the first pitch. They're not letting any first pitch strikes go by. Haven't been able to make contact. All three of them fouled it off the first time.
So it's a good indication, though, of Spezia staying in the strike zone early on to these hitters, as that one is a breaking ball away for ball one.
Yeah, and that's definitely a key. But it's also a good thing for the Kings if they're seeing that he's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes to be able to jump on those.
1-1, 1 out, man at first. That one just buzzed the tower of Schimenz. He came in with facial hair, gonna come out clean shaven with that pitch.
Yeah, I gotta like that though. That one seemed a lot more deliberate than the first inning when we saw the breaking ball up and in.
And that throw over was so forceful it knocked out our third base camera.
No, it's still out. It's that connector.
2-1 pitch. That one's fouled off. 2-2.
And that pitch a little bit high to go after, but the Kings are really aggressive right now.
Yeah, a lot of the strikes that are being accumulated during these at-bats are foul balls, not necessarily pitches taken or swings and misses. So eventually you got to put these in play. 2-2. That one is fouled off.
And you think that they will. I mean, second time through the lineup, if they're fouling it off all the first time, they're probably going to start putting it in play more.
Yeah, first time seeing a guy is always the toughest to try and time up his delivery, gauge the speed of his pitches. It's always the second and third time where it's a lot easier to get your hits. As, again, good job by Schimenz staying alive, 2-2.
Yeah, Schimenz is really battling right now. A whole lot of pitches up and in. The last three almost looked like identical pitches and identical results.
So we'll see who gives in here in this great battle between the pitcher Spezia and the third baseman Schimenz. And that one's fouled off to the third base side. Count stays 2-2.
And, I mean, you got to love that, though, because if you're Spezia, you're sitting down right now just frustrated. Like, I can't get this guy out. This is 7 pitches he's already wasted here in this at-bat.
And you got to think sometimes that frustration could be just like a here, hit me fastball. Like, I'm tired of this at-bat. I want to get to the next.
It makes you more likely to make a mistake pitch.
So we'll see what Spezia has here, 2-2. That one taken high, 3-2.
It makes you more likely to make a mistake pitch or just lose your control.
And we'll see here if they send the runner Juarez standing at first. Spezia's been in the strike zone. Schimenz has done a good job of making contact with the pitches. Maybe show some aggression here as he does go, and that one's taken for ball 4.
Yeah, a little bit of faith that he was not going to throw a strike there, or that faith in Schimenz, if he were to throw a strike, that he'd make contact with it. Either way, ends up with 2 runners on base now.
So after Graham Pimm popped up to the first baseman, Kyle Dixon, back-to-back runners have gotten on with a hit by pitch and a walk. So Jason Hare, the DH, will be batting with 2 men on, 1 out. There you get a look at the DH Hare out of Los Medanos College. We saw him play catcher here. He's DHing. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Good first pitch right there by Spezia, and that's probably the first swing and a miss that I can think of this inning from the Kings. We've seen a couple called strikes and several fouls, but finally he fools somebody.
Hare hits it well, and that is going to be fair. Down the line, they send the runner at second, Juarez. They send the runner from first, Schimenz. The relay throw, they're not going to make a throw home. So a 2-run double, and it ties the game 2-2.
Almost identical timing to the 2-run double last inning for the other team, except this one was down the line. Left field side scores 2 runs, including a runner from first, just like the other double. So great job to even the game by the Kings. They pretty much matching the Wildcats.
It was like
blow for blow.
It was like a combination of Curtis's leadoff double. That's where the area that Hare hit that, with the timing of the 2-run double from the third place hitter. Can't remember his name, Ethan Joyce. As Kyle McKean, the right fielder, is coming up with Hare in scoring position with this 2-2 ball game. That one taken high. Ball 2. And that will elicit a meeting at the mound with Mike Phelan, the catcher.
Yeah, he had seen enough right there. He doesn't want him to start having control issues as well. They're already hitting some of his stuff, so the last thing he wants is for some walks to happen.
So McKean, there you get a look at Hare, who just drove in 2. Spezia with the pitch low in the dirt. Good block. Almost fooled the umpire. The umpire thought it got past him.
Yeah, that was a really good block right there. Great job of moving his body over and keeping his body in front of the ball.
But Spezia's fallen behind McKean here, 3-0. We should expect McKean to probably take a pitch, unless it's the pitch he's looking for, 3-0. And he does take that pitch for strike 1.
And the other thing about his strike calling, it's not so much deliberate, the umpire I'm talking about, but also how late it is. Like, he waited forever before he finally called that one a strike.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
The Kings are starting to gravitate toward those high fastballs.
Yeah, a lot of teams we've seen here have been tempted by those high fastballs. Kings look like they are one of those teams. Full count, 1 out. Jason Hare standing at second. That is hit well past the shortstop. Going to be in the left field. They're going to hold up the runner, Hare. So the runners at the corners with 1 out will bring up Ray Soderman, the catcher.
And Spezia's got to take note of the fact that they're swinging at all those high fastballs. He can't leave one right down the middle like he did right there.
So quick offensive showing from both squads. The Auburn Wildcats scored 2 in the top. West Coast Kings have scored 2 here in the bottom and threatening to put up more with runners at the corners, 1 out. Ray Soderman looks at a first pitch ball. Good block there by Phelan not to allow that ball to get to the backstop and allow Jason Hare to score from third.
Thank you. Nice.
There you get a good look at Hare at third with Soderman in the box. Takes a high fastball for ball 2. So Spezia not anywhere close to the plate. First pitch was in the dirt. Next pitch was high at the eyes of Soderman. So control issues here. 2-0, 1 out. Low in the dirt, and the runner goes from first. And they are going to. Are they going to call him out? No, they're going to call him safe.
No, there was no tag over there at second. The throw got there in time, but he didn't apply the tag in time.
So good steal from Kyle McKean. Gets out of the double play situation. It's 3 balls, no strikes to Ray Soderman. And it's kind of a delayed steal by McKean as he saw it was in the dirt. It didn't get past Phelan. 3-0 is on the outside corner. Strike 1.
And good job by Spezia to focus and make sure that next pitch was a strike. You don't want to load the bases here with 1 out.
3-1 hitters count for Soderman, and it's chopped to the first base side. They're going to go home. Phelan with a nice tag, and he got him. Amazing play by Mike Phelan at home after inaccurate throw from Kyle Dixon, and he kind of said, my bad, but Phelan picked up his teammate, swung around as soon as he caught it, and he got Hare trying to score.
He almost swung around too fast because Hare, his slide actually didn't take him all the way to the plate. He almost had a chance to get his arm over the tag, but Phelan did a great job to make sure that he applied that tag. Really heads-up play, too, over at first to make sure he threw it home, realizing they weren't going to make that play.
So first and third situation with 2 outs with Sawyer Olsen as Kyle McKean advanced to third on that play, and obviously Soderman advanced on that fielder's choice.
And now you have the opportunity to get out of the inning here tied when it looked like the Kings were a ball away from loading the bases up with 1 out.
Olsen looks at that one outside, 1-1.
It just shows you one play like that has the ability to change an entire inning.
Still runner in scoring position, though, for the West Coast Kings as a pitch in the dirt blocked by Phelan, 2-1. Spezia with that scud right in front of home plate. Bounced about 58 feet. Two and one. He's fallen behind in 3 straight batters. McKean, Soderman, and now Olsen. And Olsen hits it well in the center. We'll see if Curtis can get there. It goes over his head. So 1 run scores. They're going to send the runner Soderman home. Olsen is hustling for 3. The relay is in time, and they got him at third, but not before 2 runs come in on a 2-run, 2-out double by Sawyer Olsen. We will head to the the top of the second. West Coast Kings lead 4-2. So 1 inning in the books, and it's been a story of offense, offense, offense. Both squads sending 7 hitters to the plate. Auburn Wildcats get 2 across the board. The West Coast Kings get 4. So the Wildcats in a deficit for the first time. They will be featuring the 8, 9, 1 hitters. Mike Phelan, Taylor Holman, and Sam Lee Curtis, the leadoff hitter. Kyle Franco back out there for the West Coast Kings. Mike Phelan out of San Francisco State University. Looks at a first pitch breaking ball for strike 1.
And Franco's got to feel a heck of a lot better about himself coming off of the 2-run first inning he gave up now that he's got a 2-run lead.
0-1 pitch, taken high, 1-1. And Phelan made a great defensive play for the Wildcats when Jason Hare tried to score on a chopper to first base. Phelan looks at strike 2.
And Franco comes out throwing strikes, though. Phelan's got to be ready to swing at him. The Wildcats haven't been nearly as aggressive as the Kings here on first pitches, and it really helped the Kings out.
1-2 pitch. And that one is low. One thing that Franco features is that high leg kick. And sometimes he knocks his own hat off his head with that high leg kick. That one is hit. Fair. And Phelan gets a double down the line if he can hustle. Sawyer Olsen gets it in the bullpen area for the Wildcats. And Mike Phelan leads off. So 2 innings, 2 leadoff doubles for the Auburn Wildcats.
Yeah, the Wildcats have really been kind of the opposite of the Kings in that the Wildcats have been really patient in their at-bats, and the Kings have been hyper and quick to jump on it. And both teams it's been working for so far, but great job by Phelan on staying patient, waiting for the right pitch, and then just down the left field line, they seem to like that line.
So immediately David Castillo, the manager for the West Coast Kings, will talk to his pitcher. Nobody's in the bullpen, just trying to settle him down. Bring up the 9-hole hitter, Taylor Holman.
That brings up second baseman number 3, Taylor Holman.
Obviously, Holman has a job to do here. It's really important that he moves this runner up to third. It's really his only responsibility at this moment.
Playing his community college ball at American River. That one's in the dirt. Good block by Soderman.
A good secondary lead, too, by Phelan. Has the catcher worried about him now, maybe in the back of his mind.
Franco steps off the mound.
Yeah, and you see immediately afterwards, Franco decides to step off the mound, so they're paying attention to Phelan now that he took that big lead off that first pitch.
With the pitch, and that one is low. Ball 2.
And sometimes I can just take away from a pitcher's focus and have him worried about the runner on instead of throwing strikes.
Something, too, about Franco's delivery is he eliminates that high leg kick with runners on, so it's a completely different motion out of the stretch. A small leg kick as that one by Holman is into left field for a single. We'll put runners at the corners, so mirror images of each other. Top of the first, Sam Lee Curtis doubles. Tyler Malone with a bunt single puts runners at the corners. Here in the second, Mike Phelan leads off with a double, and Taylor Holman singles in the left, puts runners at the corners.
Hey, he hit that one actually too hard. If he was wanting the RBI, he hit that thing so hard that the left fielder was up with it before Phelan even got to third base.
5th hit of the ball game for the Auburn Wildcats. Bring up Sam Lee Curtis, who doubled to lead off the ball game for the Auburn Wildcats with the wide stance. Will take strike 1.
This one's looking like it has the potential to be a really high-scoring game here early on.
I was talking about this with you. The wide stance of Sam Lee Curtis will pounce on anything inside as that one is fouled off. We'll see if the first baseman Perreti can get to it. He cannot. That will be a foul ball.
Yeah, maybe if he had a little quicker jump on that one. Didn't seem like he could really... He was paying a lot of attention up to it with his head, but he wasn't really moving too fast.
So that'll be 0-2 to Sam Lee Curtis. Runner at third base and Mike Phelan. Runner at first with Taylor Holman. Nobody out here at this top of the second. Franco with the pitch. That's hit into center field. Juarez is underneath it. The runner tags Phelan. He is coming home, and he will score. So sac fly for Sam Lee Curtis will cut the lead 4-3 now.
Yeah, he did what he had to do there, put the ball in play, get it far enough out to score the run.
Fly ball to center.
So excellent at bat from Curtis.
Brings up the shortstop, number 14, Tyler.
So now the left-handed hitting Tyler Malone, the shortstop. He had a little drag bunt to the first base side, his first at bat, and looks at strike one. Franco with the pitch, runner goes. Throw is by Soderman, is in time, and he did not get him because Tyler Malone had a nifty slide, got out of the way of the tag of Graham Pimm. That slide is the only reason that he is not safe because Soderman's throw beat him for sure.
Yeah, he looked more like it was a bit of a late break. It seemed like I thought Malone might have missed a bunt sign. Could be wrong on that, but didn't seem like he was straight stealing right away, and then he took off, seemed like he was going to be out, but a terrific slide to avoid the tag.
As that one is taken for a ball. It looked like it was kind of like a cross slide where it looked like he kind of deked the shortstop thinking he was going to the right side of the bag, and then when he slid to the left side of it, and it evaded the tag of Pimm.
Yeah, and he got that arm extended instead of kind of just sliding with both arms out. He got one arm as far as he possibly could get it.
So runner in scoring position as Tyler Malone takes another ball, 3-1 count.
So tough to pitch when you have a strike zone that thin.
Alexis, get the runner on second now.
But these hitters love it, and we've gotten a lot of offense here in just inning and a half in here as shortstop Pimm throws out Malone for the second out.
And I think one of the reasons for that is because when you have such a thin strike zone, these pitchers are good enough now that doesn't mean they're just going to infinitely walk a bunch of guys. We've only seen 2 walks so far. But it means that they're going to have to get the ball right down the middle a lot more because the strike zone's so thin, there's not a whole lot of painting the corners that goes on. And because they're having to put it down the middle a lot more, we're seeing a lot more solid contact.
I'll bring up Ethan Joyce, who got 2 runs home on a double to center field as he fouls one off.
And that's a good pitch right there on the inside corner.
And not much he can do with that one. As he jumps ahead in the count, 0-1.
Yeah, you're right. He did about all he could do with that one, which is to foul it off to the left side.
Franco shakes off his catcher and now likes this pitch coming up as that one bounces in the dirt. 1-1.
Yeah, he lost the handle on that one. Really nice block, though.
Yeah, we haven't seen Franco get very good control of that breaking ball. We've seen him miss high. We've seen him miss low. He does have 2 strikeouts, though. 1-1 pitch. Taken on the outside, 1-2. So he's jumped ahead of Ethan Joyce here. 1-2. We'll try to put away the 3-hole hitter and strand that runner at second. And Taylor Holman, the second baseman. 2 outs, 1-2 pitch. Taken for ball 2.
And this is just a great example of what we've been talking about here with the Kings being so aggressive, but the Wildcats just being so patient. Each at bat seems like this. None of them are going away quietly.
2-2. 2 outs. Franco spins the runner back. Holman. There you see Holman, and there you see Joyce. Situation 2-2. 2 outs. Joyce with the chopper to third, and that stays down. Good backhand play to keep that ball in front of him. Jacob Schimenz throws out Ethan Joyce for the final out. So the Auburn Wildcats score 1 here in the top of the second. They trail, though, to the West Coast Kings 4-3 in this championship game of the 2016 Solano Invitational Tournament.
Hi, I'm Melanie Fuller with the Solano College Sports Network. The end of summer is right around the corner, which means that fall sports are about to begin. We will be covering football for Vacaville and Wilsey Wood High School. Vacaville is expected to have a better season this year after losing to Wilsey Wood in the Black and Blue Bowl for the first time in 18 years. Wilsey Wood is coming off of their best season in school history. Right off the bat, Wood is facing Concord High School, who they lost to 55-16 last season. We will also be featuring the Lady Falcons volleyball and soccer teams. Mia Satterfield Pau, Esmeralda Cortez Serrano, Talia Glenn, and Terry Gutierrez will be returning to the 2016-2017 women's volleyball team. The women's soccer team has a whopping 17 returners. Be sure to check out all of our fall sports and past events on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, or Fairfield Cable Access Channel 28 if you live in the area. I'm Melanie Fuller, and thank you for supporting the Solano College Sports Network.
Bottom of the second, duo for the West Coast Kings, 8-9-1. Dante Perreti, the first baseman, will lead off, followed by John Nejedly in the 2-hole, and Graham Pimm, who's the leadoff hitter.
Leading off for the Kings, first baseman number 15, Dante Perreti.
Spezia, the pitcher, gave up 3 hits in that last half inning in the bottom of the first. Here in the bottom of the second, also hit a batter and walked one as well. Swing and miss from Perreti. Strike 1.
Good first pitch right there by Spezia. He's got to get back to work, get back into the swing of it quickly.
Now, bouncer gets past Phelan for ball 1.
Yeah, he needs a really good inning here coming off of the 4-run inning. His team just cut the lead in half from 2-1. He's got to keep it there.
Perreti looks at that on the outside, 1-2.
Another animated strike call. That's the most animated I've seen a strike 2 call before.
He's just gearing up for that punch out. 1-2. It's fouled off.
That's exactly how I describe it. He's warming up for the punch out.
Getting that arm stretch. See the gray hair popping out of the back of the umpire's cap, so got to warm up that arm before you punch someone out.
That's Brian Nelson at Solano College Sports Network.
2-2.
Anthony, give me a shot of the back of the umpire. No, I'm just kidding.
Perreti trying to get on here on the bottom of the second. Spezia gets him swinging at the high fastball for strike 3.
And like I said, I didn't think Spezia did enough of this last inning, but you've got to take note. They're swinging at the high fastballs a lot, so keep them up there until they start taking them.
So we'll see what John Nejedly does here with 1 out. Here, the second baseman. Right-handed hitter. Spezia with the pitch. Nejedly squared around a bunt but pulled back in time as that pitch was in the dirt for ball 1. Nejedly out of Cuesta, the 6-foot-tall second baseman. 1 out. Swing and a miss. 1-1 count.
Spezia's got to come back at him again with the fastball.
1-1. That jammed him. That's going to get foul out of play.
Yeah, good pitch right there, too. That's the other location that they've been able to get the Kings with is inside on the hands.
It looks like Spezia is a lot more comfortable in the windup than in the stretch. That's when the Kings did the most damage when he hit Juarez. Got a runner on as he looks at a second ball, 2-2 count.
Yeah, he got that one just a little low. He's really trying to paint the corners and pitch it around now that he knows this team's good at barreling it.
2-2 pitch. Nejedly swings at a fastball low and inside. So he gets Perreti on a high fastball inside and gets Nejedly low. So back-to-back strikeouts for Spezia.
Yeah, that was a great start to the inning by Spezia. And
Shortstop number 1.
whatever he and Phelan talked about in between innings, I'm sure they came up with a plan there with their manager, and it seems to be working so far, so they need to stick to that.
So that brings up Graham Pimm.
Oh, sorry.
As that first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Pimm is 5'6", out of Occidental.
Looking like Jose Altuve.
Yeah, that one fouled off. My line exactly to Garland Webster when we did the game with the West Coast Kings the first day. It was like a little Jose Altuve action.
Jose Altuve.
1-1 is the count to Pimm, as that one's in the dirt.
Altuve never ceases to amaze me. I was watching the Tigers-Astros series this week. He hit a home run to the opposite field, and I was like, how does he generate that kind of power? I mean, he weighs about as much as I do.
Yeah, Pimm did a great job in the game we saw, the 3-1 ball game, as he chops one to the shortstop. Pimm's going to beat that one out, but nice jump throw. Look, trying to be Derek Jeter. Could not make the strong throw, so Pimm reaches on a single. But Pimm, he had 2 singles. He had another time he reached base where you could call it a hit, you could call it an error. But he had a 750 on base percentage to lead off as a leadoff hitter for the West Coast Kings. So really productive leadoff hitter, just like Altuve. And that'll bring
we're
up
on the same page again.
Yeah, Eddie
The
Juarez.
Derek Jeter comment.
Yeah,
That was crazy. Just like yesterday.
yeah. 2 outs here for Juarez, who got hit by a pitch after falling behind 1-2. That really started snowballing for the West Coast Kings, and their offense got clicking in the bottom of the first. We'll see if they can manage a 2-out rally here with Pimm standing at first base. Throw over, keeps him close. Not in time.
If I was Spezia, I know this is kind of a jerk move, but if I was Spezia, my first pitch to the guy who got hit by pitch last at bat is up and in. You want him to feel really uncomfortable up there.
And that one is away, so not a jerk, apparently, is Spezia. 2-0 count. That one's high and away, 3-0. So, like I said, he's good out of the windup, 2 strikeouts, but as soon as somebody reaches, his control kind of gets away from him.
Yeah, you're definitely right. He doesn't seem nearly as accurate out of the stretch.
3-0. That one taken high. Ball 4 wasn't even close. Those last 3 easy takes for Juarez. So he reaches for the second time. Pimm advances to second for the third place hitter, Jacob Schimenz, who after a long battle got a walk out of that at-bat after fouling seemed like 4 or 5 pitches off in that first at-bat.
Yeah, the Kings are aggressive, but only when you're actually throwing strikes on the first pitch. And if they're easy takes, then they're not going to swing at it.
Schimenz looks at a first pitch high, ball 1.
Yeah, and he's getting him up or he's getting him down. He's overcompensating. He's not able to get it in the zone right now.
So we'll see if Schimenz can't handle a mistake here and try and drive one into the gap as he looks at a first pitch strike. Excuse me, second pitch strike. 1-1 count.
And there was a good pitch right there on the outside corner. Got to paint the black.
Yeah, Spezia needs to locate more like that last pitch. 1-1. That one's hit well. Will it stay up? It will for the left fielder, Faulkner. So Schimenz hit it well, but right to the left fielder for out number 3. West Coast Kings don't score in this bottom of the second. We will head to the top of the third. They lead 4-3. Here in the top of the third, 4, 5, 6 due up. Jack Veasey, Jake Faulkner, Kyle Dixon. Kyle Franco is still on the mound for the West Coast Kings. The Kings feature a pretty short bench here today. During the starting lineup that we received, only 12 players dressed for the Kings. As if you could get a look at their dugout, there's only 3 people and a coach over there for the Kings. As Veasey, the right fielder, stands in the box out of San Jose State University. The right fielder looks at a first pitch strike. Wildcats dugout couldn't believe that, as we kind of heard some verbal dismay from that first pitch.
Yeah, I was surprised too because of just the strike zone that they've been calling has been so tight. It's not that that pitch was so outrageous.
Veasey chops one. That one's going to roll foul. 0-2.
It's important to get ahead in the count, and Franco hasn't done that enough so far. Neither pitcher has. But if he can get ahead in the count more, he can stay in front in the driver's seat, get some quicker innings.
And Soderman was one of his 2 strikeout victims in the first inning. Kyle Dixon, the other, is due up third in this half of the inning. Next pitch is low, taken for ball 1.
Yeah, he just got to get that pitch up a little more. That could have been a strike down at the knees.
And an 0-2, you try to make the batter chase something low and away.
Yeah, you can waste a pitch.
And that one is popped high in the infield. Perreti is covering his eyes, shading, and it falls in between. So Perreti looked like he was trying to take charge of the whole thing. He was shading his eyes, could not locate the ball. So Veasey reaches on an infield single.
Lack of communication right there. Just a sore lack of communication. That's either the first baseman or the second baseman's ball. The first baseman didn't come in until really late because the pitcher almost seemed like he was under it and he was thinking about taking it. And at the end of the day, nobody calls for the ball, and it lands in between the pitcher, first baseman, and second baseman, right in between the 3.
So first pitch to Faulkner is in there for strike 1, and with the way the sun is oriented in the sky, Perreti, sun right in his face, so did not locate the ball very well, and that let it drop as that one is a ball inside. 1-1. There's not a cloud in the sky too, so sometimes that makes it a little difficult to pick up the ball when there's a big shine in your face. You lose sight of it. 1-1 pitch is lifted high. Third baseman Schimenz is charging, and it falls foul. 1-2.
Got to appreciate the hustle. I mean, he was nowhere near that ball, even with the full-on sprint. Always got to give it a shot, though, like that. Especially when you give up a free, what should have been an out. In that last at-bat, you want to take one if you can get one.
Imagine if you didn't make the catch, then.
Would have been an outstanding play.
You would have seen Veasey maybe tag, considering he would have had to make the catch in the on-deck circle of the Auburn Wildcats, as that one's foul tipped.
And nobody was over at second base.
So Faulkner stays alive, 1-2, after fouling that one back off the mask of Ray Soderman. 4-3 ball game. West Coast Kings lead the Auburn Wildcats. Man on first. Kyle Franco shakes off his catcher, and now comes set. 1-2 pitch. That one is high. 2-2.
And the Wildcats doing what they do here. A lot of long at-bats. That pitch count really getting up there for Franco, I'm sure, already for 3 innings of play.
2-2. That one is taken for ball 3. Full count now. Nobody out. Veasey standing at first.
And we've seen a lot of 2-2 counts and a couple 3-2s already. The Wildcats really patient in the batter's box.
Franco comes set. Wildcats trail by 1. That one clips the elbow of Jake Faulkner. So he takes his 90 feet after a hit by pitch. Now both squads have been hit by a pitch. That'll bring up Kyle Dixon, the first baseman, who struck out looking his first at-bat for out number 2 in the top of the first.
Kyle Dixon.
And I could be wrong, but I think Franco's already looking pretty tired up there for a 3rd inning.
Yeah, when we called the West Coast Kings first game, he came in relief. Not sure the stamina of Franco, but he's had very high-stress innings. As the first pitch is taken for ball 1, 7 batters came to the plate in the top of the first, 5 came in the top of the second, and now here hasn't recorded an out with the first 2 batters.
I would say I'm surprised that I don't see anyone warming up in the pen, but like you said, there's only 3 guys on the bench. I'm not sure how many of them are pitchers.
You have enough for a bullpen catcher and 2 pitchers maybe. Yeah, one of the DHs is Jason Hare, a catcher. So there's your bullpen catcher. The other 2 are number 10 Dominic Espino and number 18 Atticus Sloan.
Either of them pitch?
Not sure. And that one was taken for strike 1.
Could be that some of the position players out maybe could come in as a relief pitcher too.
1-1 is in the dirt, and it gets past the catcher Soderman, so both runners will advance 90 feet. So 2 runners now in scoring position, nobody out.
And Soderman, again, lack of urgency seems like when he gets up from these pass balls and these wild pitches, really slow to get up there and not attempt any kind of throw.
2-1. That one's fouled off. Two and 2 count to Kyle Dixon, the first baseman. Runner at third and Jack Veasey. Runner in second with Jake Faulkner.
Still nobody out, so if you're Dixon, all you're trying to do here is put the ball in play, preferably to the right side.
2 and 2. Taken. Oh, I was going to call him out for ball 3.
We said the strike zone's been really tight. That one looked pretty even with the knees.
And with his demonstrative strikeout call, I would be wanting to call people out all the time. Punching people out left and right. 3 and 2. Full count, nobody out. And swing and a miss, and Dixon bails out Franco with that swing as he strikes out for the second time. I think
Dixon
has to be upset with
bailed out
himself.
Franco on that one. Awful swing.
Yeah, no sugarcoating that one. That ball didn't even reach home plate, and he swung at it. So that'll bring up Taylor Field, try to pick up his teammate after Field flew out to right field in the first. Not even an intentional pun.
I want to just call the SPCA right now on that dog.
Chopper to third, and it gets by Schimenz. So that will allow 1 run score. They're going to send the runner from second. Relay in time. They tag him out. Taylor Field will advance to second on the throw. So Faulkner tried to score from second. He gets tagged out, but Veasey scores. So Field drives in 1 with an RBI single, and the Auburn Wildcats tie up this ballgame 4-4.
Yeah, very aggressive decision over there by the third base coach / manager, but I mean, there was really no way he was going to score right there. Not only had the left fielder already gotten the ball in, but the cutoff man had the ball as he was a step or two past third base. Should have called him off right there and had him try to slide back into third. Easy play right there. Good relay, though, by the Kings.
So when all said and done, we're at a tie ball game, 2 outs. Mike Phelan at the plate looks at a first pitch in the dirt. Ball 1. Runner in scoring position and Taylor Field. As Phelan, he doubled to lead off the second and came around to score on a Sam Lee Curtis sac fly. It's a very entertaining game so far. A lot of good at-bats from both sides.
Yeah, a lot of long at-bats. Lots of patience.
That one taken 2-0.
That's why it's only the top of the third, and we're already at an hour into this game. Lots of patient at-bats. Nobody's in a rush here. They're just trying to go home with the championship.
That one taken inside. Oh, 4 strike. And he... the umpire says, what was that? As he looks at the catcher. And that's a relationship you don't want to strain if you're Mike Phelan and you're the starting catcher, as he takes a walk to kind of give some space between he and the umpire.
And the umpire was really aggressive right there with the mask off almost in his face.
Yeah, a little aggressive, a little passive aggressive. What was that? 2-1. That one in the dirt. 3-1. If I was feeling and me being the sarcastic person I am, I'd say, was that a strike? And I'd get thrown out and go home early.
Yeah, you'd be out of here. And you don't want to do that when you're the starting catcher.
No. In the back of my mind, I would still want to say that, though. 3-1. That
Maybe
one.
if it was like the 7th inning.
Yeah, to Schimenz. He's underneath it, and he puts it away for out number 3. That for the Wildcats score the tying run. This game is all knotted up at 4 as we head to the bottom of the third. So there you see number 22, Mike Phelan. A lot of activity happened when we cut away at the end of the third as Phelan was walking back from first. I don't know if he said something under his breath, but the umpire must have heard something as he threw him out as soon as he crossed his path. And so Mike Phelan, the starting catcher for the Auburn Wildcats, is out of the ball game.
Yeah, he was jogging back from first base, and I thought to myself, because I saw as soon as the umpire looked at him, I saw something, and I was like, you know, this should be good, right? Phelan takes a look at the umpire. I didn't see him say anything. I didn't see his mouth move. And so I'm not sure if he said anything or merely gave the umpire a look, but the umpire didn't hesitate to throw him out. He turned around, threw his helmet, and said, "What did I say? What did I say? What did I say?" I didn't say anything. So he seems to think he didn't say anything. He must have said something, though. I mean, they don't just get thrown out for nothing. But regardless, we were just talking about the starting catcher not wanting to get thrown out, and he got thrown out.
So it'll be interesting to see who comes in. Due to the catcher's gear, I can't really recognize the number. I know it's a single number jersey.
Looks like a 3.
And that's actually the second baseman, Taylor Holman, if
Right.
that is number 3, who has been playing second base this whole game. It could also be a 5. So we will straighten this out for you folks as soon as we can and bring you the most up-to-date information. No, 3 is still out there at second base.
Yeah,
so
I think you're right. That's probably a 5.
So we'll figure out who the new catcher is in moments, probably between innings, as we are here in the bottom of the third. 4-5-6 do it for the West Coast Kings after the Auburn Wildcats tied up the ball game last half inning as that first pitch is taken for a ball.
And with any championship game, one thing that can come is emotions. You got to have the better of your emotions in a situation like this. Phelan may not have been wrong in his frustration with the umpire's calling, but you got to have a handle on those emotions or you'll find yourself out of the game as he does.
2-0 is chopped foul off the leg of Jason Hare, the DH, who doubled home 2 in his first at-bat. So he has 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. And number 5 on the Auburn Wildcats is Austin Spainhour.
And going out to talk to his pitcher early on in the count. Make sure they have a set game plan here.
So a 2-1 count here to Jason Hare, the DH. Looking to be a table setter here instead of a run producer. This pitch is high from Spezia. 3-1.
So a good count here for Hare.
That one's taken for ball 4. So leadoff walk for Jason Hare. First time, though, the West Coast Kings have gotten a leadoff base runner. And so the mood of the stadium is kind of interesting after the catcher Mike Phelan got thrown out of the ball game. It's just very quiet. I don't think people can believe what just happened as Hare gets back in time for a pickoff attempt.
A nice block over at first to keep that one from getting away. But yeah, Stover himself had to go over there and make sure Phelan was going to leave.
And so Kyle McKean, the right fielder, who singled and scored, is in the ball game, or is in the batter's box as he has yet to look at a pitch after a couple throwovers to Jason Hare. Keep him close. McKean scored on the Sawyer Olsen double. Has a nice block by Spainhour.
Yeah, Spainhour's come in here and done a fine job so far. He's already had to make a couple nice blocks. You can see him much smaller catcher than Phelan is. He uses his whole body.
1-0. That one's hit well into the outfield. We'll see if Curtis can get underneath it. Excuse me, not Curtis. That's Juarez. Oh, it is Curtis. It's Curtis who puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, that ball was hit. It was hit fairly well, but he got under it too much, and so it hung up there quite a while, and Curtis had plenty of time to jog over there and get underneath it.
Do you know what's confusing is having 2 teams with black uniforms? Like, the numbers are obviously different, but...
I was going to mention something about that earlier. I don't know if they just only brought one uniform to this tournament, but
no,
it's a little confusing.
I think it's because of the semifinal games. The Kings must have been the away team as well. And so both have their away unis here at the stadium. And since they both won their semifinals, then when they flip for home, they obviously have the same color jerseys. So 1-0, fouled off by Soderman, 1-1.
Anthony better watch out.
Yeah, we already lost one camera here today. During the semifinal between the M's and the Wildcats, a foul ball shattered one of our cameras. So, hey, if you got a spare camera, you want to donate it to SCSN, we'd love to have one.
Or if you're in the market for a broken lens camera that can't do anything but just kind of sits there in place, we'll happily give it to you.
Luckily, it was such a flush shot, it only broke the lens and it didn't break the camera. So, basically, we just need to buy a new lens. A 1-2 count here to Ray Soderman with 1 out. Spezia with a breaking ball outside, ball 2.
See, you're not counting spiders. Spiders enjoy watching a game from a spiderweb type view with the cracked lens.
Well, there are plenty of spiders that get great views. I see them crawling around our desk all the time. 2-2. Taking ball 3.
Another full count here. The Kings are sort of taking up the Wildcats' approach. They stopped with all those first pitch swingings that they were doing in the first inning. They're not nearly as aggressive for here in the third inning. They've been a lot more patient.
As that snap throw almost got him. Full count to Soderman. Jason Hare sitting at first after he led off this inning with a walk. There you see his lead. Back. Did he get back in time? Yes, he did. They're getting progressively closer to maybe picking off Hare.
You can feel the tension, too. The Wildcats fans and bench is really getting on the umpires about things they think should be strikes or that close play over at first they thought should have been an out. They need to be careful with their emotions, like I was saying, or else, you know, they could have more guys start getting thrown out here.
So second walk of the inning issued by Spezia as Soderman walks with that full count. That brings up Sawyer Olsen, who doubled home too. He drove in McKean and Soderman his first time up and got thrown out trying to advance to third. Left fielder out of Los Medanos College, 6'1", 180. That one swung on and missed over the top. Strike one.
And, of course, Phelan getting thrown out affects more than just himself. It affects the starting pitcher who has to get into a rhythm now with a new catcher. And unexpectedly.
Not to mention he also doubled, so he proved himself at the play as well. We'll see what Spainhour does in his first at-bat as Spainhour, he's not lagged behind the plate. He's had to make a couple blocks, and he's done a great job of getting his body in front of those balls. 1-1 count. 1 out, 2 runners on. Runner goes, Hare, and that one is going to stay. Oh, I thought that was fair for sure, but it's foul.
Yeah, it just looked like it took a hop to the right side of the foul line by like an inch or two, but very close.
If they would have called that fair, I think the Auburn Wildcats dugout would have exploded.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very close play. Great approach by Sawyer Olsen, just poking that pitch away down the line. We've seen that a couple times with the pull side down the left field line. We haven't seen so much down the right field line. And the interesting thing about that right corner is it's so far away from home plate that it's usually a stand-up triple as Olsen fouls one off, 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, like I said in the last broadcast, you can't make that throw like you can from left field because left field to third base is a straight shot, and right field it's all the way across to the other side. That's literally the longest throw you could possibly have to make in a baseball game other than to home plate from right field.
1 and 2 pitch is fouled off yet again.
And even home plate from right field is at least more of a straight shot. You know, right field to third base is such a severe angle that, yeah, it's definitely a triple when you hit it down to that side unless you're just really slow.
Spezia in trouble here. 2 runners on, 1 out. Pitch is high. Evens the count 2 and 2.
Another long at bat.
So you get a look at Sawyer Olsen in the box. Gets back in. Runner at second and Jason Hare. He goes. Both runners go as that one's skied high into left. Faulkner is going to drift back to his left and puts it away. A little trouble there as he overran the ball but corrected himself for out number 2. So with 2 outs, Dante Perreti who struck out to lead off the second
Number 15, Dante
for the
Perreti.
West Coast Kings, is due up here in this RBI situation with Hare and Soderman on base with after they both walked. Spezia has issued 3 walks here. Excuse me, 4 walks. That one's swung and missed.
He hasn't given up any hits yet this inning. He's been pitching pretty well this inning when he's been throwing it for strikes. So he's just got to stay focused here on this at bat and make sure he doesn't walk him.
That one fouled off the umpire and the catcher. It was kind of a double ricochet off the mask of Spainhour and off the left shoulder of the umpire. And the catcher will talk to the pitcher to give the umpire a little time to recover.
Might be giving himself a little time too, as that one hit him in the forehead before it hit the umpire.
Yeah, I think this is a time where both of the guys could use a little break. As like, hey, don't pitch it where that it can foul tip and hit me in the head. Okay, buddy? All right, thanks. 2 men on. 0-2 count, 2 outs here in the inning. Perreti swings and misses at that pitch, and he strikes out for the second time. So we are done. 3 innings in the books. We are tied 4-4 as we head to the top of the 4th in this 2016 Solano Invitational Collegiate Tournament Final.
Hi, I'm Anthony Williams, the SCSN video editor, broadcaster, and cameraman. Thanks for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Bottom of the lineup, Taylor Holman. Then the top of the lineup, Sam Lee Curtis and Tyler Malone here, due up in the top of the 4th. Visiting team is the Auburn Wildcats, and the home team is the West Coast Kings. Once again, you're watching the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here, alongside Tristan Vector calling this championship game that's been very entertaining. Franco with the first pitch, and there for a ball. Holman singled his first time up to left field. 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0.
A little command issues right off the bat here for Franco.
And Franco shaking off his catcher. And now 2-0. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Wanted that breaker and finally got it in the strike zone. We've seen him have control issues with that breaking ball. 2-1 pitch from Franco. That one's hit well into the gap. That one is going to hang up, though, for the left fielder, Olsen. I thought that had a chance of getting down, but just too much air under the ball as Holman is retired for the first out.
Yeah, he got that one up into that wind stream over there heading towards left, and it hung up there a little too long. Nice running catch, though, too.
Yeah, if you can see the flags out in the outfield, it is blowing left to right, so he got it up. It was hanging up there due to the wind, and the left fielder Olsen was able to get underneath it. So Sam Lee Curtis, the leadoff man, is back up. 1 for 1 with a double, scored a run, also drove in a run with a sac fly.
Now bring your camera just a tad. Good, thank you.
Sam Lee Curtis squared around a bunt and looks at a first pitch strike. 1-1 count. It's Curtis back in the box. Franco with the next pitch. That one is for a ball. That time, Schimenz, the third baseman, was charging in just in case Curtis thought about a sneak bunt. Franco shakes off his catcher quite a bit for a starting pitcher. You'd like to see him have a rhythm with this catcher where everything he puts down is what he's thinking.
Yeah, they got to get a better communication between each other and what each one of them wants to do.
As Franco's behind in the count, 2-1 to Sam Lee Curtis. And sometimes it's the person with the senior experience. So if you have a experienced pitcher with a young catcher, the pitcher will call his own game and just kind of shake him off. And it's just kind of understood as Curtis down the line, and it is just foul. We saw him get a double in the first inning on a hit similar to that.
Yeah, almost identical to that, except obviously a little more in because it was in play. And that's also why you notice the third baseman's pretty much on the bag instead of over to where he was the first at bat.
Yeah, he's hanging on the line, so there's quite a bit more of a hole on the left side of the infield between the shortstop and the third baseman. So they shift their defense to the pull side a little bit, as that pitch not even close. 3-2.
Also a huge hole right back up the middle.
So
They've got the first baseman on the other line.
We'll see what Curtis can do here. There's opportunities here for him to get on with a hit. Full count, 1 out. Franco with the pitch. And it is swung to the shortstop. We'll see if Curtis can beat this one out. Long throw, and it gets past the first baseman. Curtis gets to advance to second as the catcher. Good job with the catcher backing up the play.
Yeah, he didn't quite get there in time because the throw was made so quickly, but that pick over there at first base, you don't have to make it because it's a really tough pick to make, but you have to knock the ball down if you're the first baseman. You got to have your head in there, make sure that you knock that one down.
So Perreti tried to make that backhanded play, gets past him, so it's officially a single and advance to second on an error.
Yeah, unfortunately for the shortstop who made a nice backhanded play, that's going to go as an E6.
And so David Castillo meets with his entire infield, pitcher, catcher included. And Tyler Malone will be the batter here with Curtis. Going to be standing at second with 1 out. Tyler Malone, the shortstop, is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored, also grounded out.
We could really use a limit on the amount of coaching visits to the mound that we have per game.
Yeah, that's something that I think the Major Leagues has talked about too as well.
I know the Major Leagues has limited the time that is allotted for that, and I think they're planning on limiting the amount of visitations you can have now. But we could use that here too because this game's taking long enough as it is with all the long at-bats and offense we're seeing.
Just to remind you, it's a 7-inning ball game here for the Solano Invitational Tournament, not your standard 9, as that one is taken for a ball to Tyler Malone. Falls behind the count 1-0. The symmetry of top of the fourth, 4-4 ball game. That one's in the dirt, and Curtis thought about going. Just has to head back to second.
Yeah, good job by Soderman to get enough of that ball and then get up quickly and make sure no one was going to go.
There you see the lead for Curtis at second base. Franco comes home, and that one's in the dirt, and it bounces, and Curtis will advance as Soderman doesn't even throw as Curtis advances to third.
Yeah, now that was more like what Soderman had been doing earlier on in the game, just really slow to get up from some of these. That one right there, he actually kept in front of him and still was unable to keep the runner from going to third or even get a throw off.
The ball looked like it rolled up his arm, and as it went past him, and now it's a 3-0 count, they're just going to put on Malone intentionally, set up the double play. So Malone walks as Ethan Joyce, who crushed a double in the first inning for 2 RBIs, will be the batter, as a pitching change will be called by David Castillo. So we will see who exactly is going to be brought in. It looks like the right fielder, McKean, will be potentially getting a pitching glove on, but we will see. And as we pause, let's do a little station identification. You're watching the Solano College Sports Network. Brian Nelson here alongside Tristan Vector. You're watching the 2016 Solano College Invitational Tournament final between the Auburn Wildcats and the West Coast Kings. You can watch all of our broadcasts on Fairfield Cable Channel 28 if you live in the Fairfield area. You can also add us on Facebook, Solano College Sports Network, or check out our YouTube page, Solano College Sports Network, or follow us on our social medias at SEC_Falcons. We'd like to thank our production crew, Anthony Williams, Elizabeth Torres, Alexis Rojas, and Jim Morrison. manning the center fielder camera. And, of course, Greg Poff producing with Melanie Fuller and McKenna Guerrero behind the scenes doing scoreboards and graphics. So new pitcher will be the right fielder, McKean. And he takes his warm-up tosses. So they'll have to replace McKean defensively as Kyle Franco's day is done. He'll get through 3 1/3 innings. And due to the pitching change, we'll just throw it to a commercial real quick, and when we come back, we'll continue our coverage of the championship game here at the top of the 4th inning.
Interested in a career in sports broadcasting? Well, Solano College is the right college for you. Fall 2016, Solano is offering not 1, but 2 sports broadcasting classes. COM 75A is for the people who want to be in front of the camera, like me. You will focus on real-life, on-air, internet, and televised broadcast. Not only will you be in front of the camera, you will learn the fundamentals of play-by-play description, color commentary, do interviews with players and coaches, and even host your own sports talk show. For those of you who want to be more behind the scenes, COM 80A is the class for you. You will learn the fundamentals of televised sports broadcast, both in studio and on location.
So the new right fielder will be Dominic Espino, taking over McKean's spot defensively as McKean shifts over to the pitcher as the runner at first goes, and he steals the bag cleanly, Tyler Malone.
Kings. Number 26, Kyle McKean.
Yeah, great steal right there by Malone, and
Ethan Joyce.
just make him feel uncomfortable. He just came into the game. First pitch he's going to throw, you're going to steal base on him. Now he's got second and third on him.
Ethan Joyce looks at that one, 1-1.
Tough situation to be thrown into if you're McKean. Second and third, 1 out. Tie ball game in the championship.
That one's taken on the outside corner, 1-2.
Oh, that's not going to help the Wildcats like this umpire any better.
Some other defensive changes is that the DH Jason Hare is now playing first, as that one's taken 2-2. So 1 out here, 2 runners on.
The heckling is beginning.
McKean with the pitch outside, 3-2.
Another really good at bat here. Another really patient at bat from the Wildcats. Opportunity to load the bases with the walk or knock in a couple runs with the hit.
3-2. That one is high and inside for a walk. So McKean comes in and walks the first batter. The final line of Kyle Franco is 3 1/3 innings pitch, 8 hits allowed, 2 walks, 1 hit by pitch.
And the amount of runs is to be determined.
Yeah, because he has given up 4 to this point. The runners at second and third are attributed to Franco. Now
Only one would be an earned run, though, since one reached on an error. Actually, one reached on a single and then went to second on an error, so they would both be earned.
that one's hit well into the outfield back. Veasey to the wall, and that one is down for extra bases. 1 run scores, 2 run score with the bases loaded. Veasey in there with a 2 RBI double.
Big hit right there for Jack Veasey. Got a solid line drive up into that wind we've been talking about over there in left field. Off the wall, 2 runs scored. A 3rd run might have if they got a better read on the ball.
Yeah, they had to kind of freeze just to make sure that Sawyer Olsen didn't get underneath that one. Olsen with the speed to potentially get to that ball. I think it's better safe than sorry with 1 out. Still 2 runners in scoring position as Jack Faulkner now is at the plate, 1-0.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, it would have been one heck of a read to score from first on that play, but you can't be too careful in this situation.
That one taken, strike 1. And we are going to fix our scoreboard as we had a little technical issue here, so I'll maintain the score. It's 6-4. Auburn Wildcats now lead by 2 here with 1 out, 2-1 is your count.
And runners on second and third. Big opportunity right here for Faulkner. He hasn't had an official at bat yet with a walk and a hit by pitch.
McKean taken high, 3-1. It's got to be difficult for McKean, too, just standing in right field for so long. It's been a slow game with a lot of extended at-bats, so you're not getting a ton of activity out and right, and all of a sudden you're thrusted into pitching duty with no bullpen warm-up session. 3-1. Swung on a miss, helped out by Faulkner chasing that pitch.
Yeah, all he got was maybe 10 total warm-up pitches from the mound, and thrust into a tie game championship with runners on base like that. Every pitch he's made has been under stress.
Full count. Swung on, foul tipped, hung on by the catcher Soderman, so Faulkner goes down swinging, gets finally an at-bat officially, but not that bat he wanted as he's now 0 for 1.
Yeah, and that was a big at-bat for McKean right there coming in relief. He needed that out. He's got 2 of them now. Got to strand these other 2 runners.
As Kyle Dixon looks at a first pitch high for ball 1. Dixon 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is the guy that you want up if you're McKean right now to try and get this last out.
Looked at, strike 1.
He's got to go straight at him and challenge him right now.
Here in the top of the 4th. That is high, foul territory. New right fielder Espino was on the run, could not get there in time.
Yeah, highly unlikely that either one of them was going to get to that ball. They made it a little closer than I expected. Good hustle. But at the end of the day, Dixon's still alive. But you got 2 strikes on him now. You got him to swing in a really high fastball right there. So you might come back and elevate it again, or you might go to a breaking ball low.
McKean ahead in the count here. 1-2, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Veasey at second. Joyce at third, and that one's over the head of the catcher, but luckily he threw it so hard it bounced right off the concrete and right back to the catcher. Yeah,
I think it's safe to say McKean missed his location on that pitch.
In the words of Bob Uecker, just a bit outside, except it was high. 2-2. That one low in the dirt. 3-2.
Good block. However, they had the 1-2 count on him, and now they got behind him 3-2. A guy that struck out twice, you've got to go at him here. You cannot walk him.
As this is one of our last broadcasts, one of the last shots to take at your age. Have you seen the movie Major League? As that one is taken for ball 4 with Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
So you know the reference I was talking about, just a bit outside. Just wanted to check. This is time to call you out on your age. Just want to make sure we're on the same page here. As Dixon walked with 2 outs, bases are loaded once again for Taylor Field, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a flyout.
Yeah, I'm young. I'm not that young.
That one hit well, but foul.
Taylor Field smelling a grand slam opportunity right here. That would be something in a championship game like this.
And it broke his bat as he snaps off the handle over his knee.
Now that makes even more impressive how far he just hit that ball, considering that the bat broke. Did that even land? I think that went over.
No, it landed behind the bullpen mound, right in front of the cage, just in the corner.
Front of the fence in foul territory right there on a broken bat.
Mm-hmm.
Some serious power on that swing.
Yeah, think about that. There's a 330 sign. He hit it just to the left of it, but he jammed him as that next pitch is taken high.
Yeah, it missed the barrel of the bat, and his bat broke. And he still hit it all the way out, probably 326 feet or so.
I wonder why he's the DH here. That swung on a miss, looking for a similar swing as a huge uppercut from Field.
And if you feel that, you just got to settle down right now in this situation. Maybe shorten up the swing. You got to protect. Its base is loaded. You don't need to hit a grand slam.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Handcuffed him, and he can't believe it. He wants to break a second bat over his knee as Field strikes out swinging. Wildcats take the lead here in the top of the 4th by scoring 2 runs. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Wildcats lead 6-4.
Kings, second baseman number 12.
Bottom of the fourth for the West Coast Kings. They trail for the first time since the first inning, as they trail 6-4 here in the bottom of the fourth of the championship game of the Solano Invitational Collegiate Tournament of 2016. John Nejedly, the second baseman, is leading off this half of the inning, as that one hits him high on the shoulder. So one pitch, one base runner.
Another hit by pitch. That's the third one we've seen already this game.
Back to the top of the order for the Kings. Shortstop number
Guys
1.
are paying the price today.
Switch off that.
Back to the top of the order. Pimm showing bunt.
So a little momentary technical malfunction where our TriCaster unit froze for a second. So we're back in time, 1-0. That one is taken for strike one by Graham Pimm, the leadoff hitter. 1 for 2, single, and fly out.
Pimm displeased with that pitch seemingly way outside. Called for a strike. He clearly had the bunt sign on. He showed it the first two. Now he's swinging away, fouls it off, 1-2.
1-2.
Yeah, it is. You got over there. It looks good.
As Spezia is still on the mound for the Auburn Wildcats. There is a guy standing in the Wildcat bullpen should Spezia struggle continue as the lefty's warming up. 2-2 is the count.
Yeah, basically they've got the lead now, and they want to ensure that they keep it. Spezia's been good, though, since the first inning. He hasn't given up any runs in the second or third.
Five batters apiece have reached the last 2 half innings as Pimm looks at ball 3.
You got to think, though, if Spezia walks this guy, it's probably his last batter.
On deck is Eddie Juarez, a left-handed batter as well. He could be a
Yeah.
switch hitter. We haven't seen if a lefty comes in, but he has been batting left-handed, so you could go to that lefty should Pimm reach.
And we've seen the middle of the lineup, which is about to come up. That's why if he walks this guy, I think it's got to be his last batter. As you look at the next 3 coming up, have 5 trips to the base paths in between them.
Pimm, opposite field approach, and that gets down. Runner Nejedly advances to third. So great approach with the runner being held on by the first baseman. Nice hole on the right side of the infield. Pimm pokes it for a single, his second one of the afternoon.
And, yeah, that's going to be his last batter.
Eddie Juarez.
So Eddie Juarez is your next batter, but we would probably not see Dylan Spezia continue to be on the mound. We'll see if they make a pitching change. Right now it's just a meeting. We'll see if this is just to buy time for his lefty to warm up a little bit more. As the count, as there's nobody out here in the inning. Runners at the corners. Nejedly, who got hit by a first pitch, is standing at third after advancing to third on a Graham Pimm single, his at-bat, as the umpire makes a way to break up the meeting at the mound, as it's taking too much time. And they're going to keep Spezia out there. It's an interesting move. Maybe determining that the lefty in the bullpen isn't quite warm enough.
You got to think that he could get warm with some of those pitches that he gets on the mound when he comes in, though. And in this situation, Spezia is really struggling. Tough decision to make.
And it's even tougher because you just have trailed for the first time since the first inning by 2. Here, there's a runner in scoring position, squared around a bunt, and pulled back for strike 1.
And I don't think that it was that he wasn't quite warm. He must just think that the righty-lefty matchup here favors Spezia because the pitcher stopped throwing over there in the pen.
Opposite field, and it is lined right to Joyce for out number 1. Ethan Joyce puts it away.
Keeping Spezia in for that at bat at least seems to pay off.
Brings up the third baseman, number 5.
Seems as though they're going to give him another one, too.
Jacob Schimenz, the third baseman, who is 0 for 1, walk and a fly out to left field. So a double play situation as they keep Pimm close at first. Schimenz, the third baseman, looks at a pitch inside for a strike.
Oh, my
right in
God.
on the hands.
That almost hit his hand.
0-1 pitch. Low for ball. Even count 1-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. West Coast Kings trail. Runner goes. Pimm. They fake the throw, and that's what you'd like to see from Spainhour. We saw in the Rockhound game where the catcher threw to second base and allowed the third base runner to score.
Yeah, that was the right play. We talked about it in that game where you said if he had pump faked and gone to third, maybe they would have got him.
So right at second and third, pitch is in there for a strike. 2-2. Breaks up the double play situation too, so that's a huge steal by Pimm. Spezia with a pitch, and that is a high chop, but that's going to allow one to score. Joyce on the short hop. It makes a nice play. It gets past the first baseman, though, Kyle Dixon. That allows the second run to score. West Coast Kings tie the ball game up 6-6.
In an unfortunate way that second run scores. The first run obviously coming in with the RBI single, but the second run's going to come in on an error. The Wildcats hurting themselves in that situation.
So one RBI for Schimenz on that chopper. Able to reach on the single. But that second run is not going to be an RBI, as Pimm scored from second on the errant throw. Hare looks at a first pitch strike. The new first baseman after the pitching change for the West Coast Kings. McKean came in from right and is now pitching as the next pitch is taken for a ball. Hare went from DH over to first, and Espino replaced Perreti at first and moved to the outfield into right. 1-1. Taken low. 2-1.
I got to say, I'm so surprised that they're still leaving Spezia in right now. It seems like they were ready to take him out. And now 2 more runs score. Still just 1 out. He's struggling heavily right now.
That one taken on the inside. 2-2.
Nice frame job by Spainhour. That looked way inside at first.
2-2 pitch. Man on first in Schimenz. Taken for a ball. Full count now. 1 out. Here in the bottom of the fourth, Wildcats have tied this ball game up 6-6. Here in the championship game of the Solano Invitational Tournament. Full count. Runner goes, and that is chopped foul. So Hare stays alive.
Hare doing a nice job of protecting in that situation. Another 3-2 pitch coming up. Another long at bat here. Both teams are doing an outstanding job right now of making the pitchers work for it.
Full count. 1 out. And Hare punched out with an uppercut. Hadouken. And he'll be set down.
I'm starting to think that this umpire used to be a fighter.
2 outs brings up the pitcher, number 26, Kyle McKean.
So Kyle McKean, who's on the pitcher's mound now. So the West Coast Kings gave up their DH spot by substituting their DH into the field. And now McKean is hitting for himself as the pitcher. That one hit well into center field. Center fielder is back, Curtis. He is at the warning track, and it goes over his glove. He did not catch that. Schimenz comes around to score as McKean is safe at second base. The West Coast Kings lead now 7-6.
And they're absolutely fired up right now over in that bench. Huge momentum off of this little comeback in the bottom of the fourth to take the lead. Not an easy play by any means over there in center, but you do kind of expect it to be made.
It was just so high that you figured the center fielder Curtis could settle underneath that. He just kept drifting back and back and back, and he didn't sprint towards a spot. He just kind of started drifting, and it just went over his head.
And that's what that wind will do to you also. Auburn in an area out by Sacramento over by Roseville probably don't get the same kind of wins that we do get here in Solano County.
1-0 count to Soderman as he swings at that pitch, 1-1.
So just trying to kind of come up with an excuse for poor Curtis, make him feel a little better. That's not an easy play to make if you're not used to the wind out here.
1-1 pitch is in the dirt. That should advance the runner. No, good job by Spainhour. If that had bounced to the opposite side, perhaps McKean
Definitely
would have taken it. But because it would have made the throw a lot shorter by Spainhour, he decided not to make that third out, or try to give up that third out at third base. 2-1 is the count to Soderman. Spezia in there, strike 2.
He needs this next pitch right here to get himself out of this inning and end his night only down by 1, give his offense a chance to take him off the hook.
That one taken. Full count now. 2 outs. Runner at second in Kyle McKean. Soderman looking to put another run here in the bottom of the 4th, trying to put the West Coast Kings up by 2. Swing and a miss, though. Soderman is down swinging. Not before the Kings score 3 in the bottom of the 4th. They retake the lead here in the championship game. West Coast Kings lead 7-6. Top of the 5th. Austin Spainhour gets his first at-bat after the starting catcher Mike Fanley got thrown out of the ball game by the home plate umpire. Following him will be Taylor Holman, the second baseman. Then back to the top of the lineup with Sam Lee Curtis. On the mound still for the West Coast Kings is Kyle McKean, who came in for Kyle Franco in the middle of the 4th inning. Got out of that jam. And now he is the pitcher of record for the West Coast Kings as they have retaken the lead 7-6 here. 3 more full innings due up here in this championship game, as this is a 7-inning ball game. And should the Kings hold on to this lead, it'll only be 2.5 innings.
Tournament today. We appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah.
We'll turn everything out of the concession stand, so everything's $1. 2-for-1 hot dogs, fistful of gum, $1. Go get your stuff while you can.
So the Wildcats need to tie this game back up here, top of the 5th inning.
They
just fell behind.
I thought you were going to say something about the 2-for-1 hot dogs. That's what I'm focusing on.
I know that they can't hear what we're hearing from the PA announcer, but yeah.
Are you sure? There's a big speaker right next to you, and these mics pick up everything. So
Okay.
we'll find out in the final edit.
We'll figure it out. Yeah,
if
we'll
you can
figure it
hear.
out. But either way, 2-for-1 hot dogs, everybody. I'm gonna go get me some of those.
Yeah, I'm sure by the time you guys hear this the next day, those 2-for-1 hot dogs won't be so good. A day from now. As that one is fouled off by Spainhour for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, if you figure out a way to hit me up right now, somehow.
Time travel back in time. But I'm not
Time
sure.
travel back in time.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Pretty
why
sure.
you would time travel to a 2-for-1 hot dog sale, but I think that's
If you could, yeah, I would definitely time travel to a different event.
yeah. I think that's a waste of a time machine. 1-1.
I would probably. No, I'm not gonna say that. Never
No.
mind.
Censor yourself, Tristan. As that one, McKean just back into
Oh.
fair territory. Spainhour.
He ran out of the base path though. They got to call him out.
I don't know. They're
He
calling him
almost ran.
safe.
He almost ran into the pitcher. How was he supposed to catch that when the ball landed where he was? There's no way. He was way out of the base path. Maybe that's just okay, Wildcats fans, stop hating me type of call.
Number 3.
Or maybe they just determined that he made an attempt to get out of the way of the fielder to avoid interference, and that's why he ran out of the baseline.
Yeah, but he ran at the pitcher. I mean,
they didn't make contact, though.
No, I know, but it wasn't like he was moving away from him. He was moving towards him, at least what I thought.
It's just an interesting play and an interesting championship game so far, as that one is hit to the right side. Second baseman thought about going for 2, but decided to get the sure out in Holman. So fielder's choice. Spainhour advances to second base on that play. Yeah,
probably could have got him, but no use risking it in a situation like this, especially the way that your offense is hitting this game. You know they're going to score a few more runs. You know, I have a hard time believing that they're going to get shut out from here on out. They're probably going to score a couple more runs. So you know that runner at second right there isn't too big of a deal right now.
Sam Lee Curtis now has yet to be retired, 2 for 2. Scored 2 runs, single, double, also sacrifice fly for his lone RBI. That one's hit into the gap, into right center field. That one's going to get down and roll to the wall. Spainhour going to score from second. Curtis on his horse. He is in there with a triple. As he ran so fast, he blew off his helmet and allowed those golden locks to fly all the way to third base.
Ran too fast for our cameras to even pick him up. He was Casper on the base paths.
So Sam Lee Curtis drives in his second run, and this game is tied up again, 7-7, back and forth ball game. How many ties, how many lead changes have we had so far in only 4+ innings?
That's the type of speed you expect out of a leadoff hitter. Sam Lee Curtis gets one down and pure speed all the way over to third.
And Sam Lee Curtis has 3 legs of the cycle now. Single, double, triple. Just missing that elusive home run.
Good observation. All he needs is a home run. I say that as if it's easy. But all he needs is a home run and he would hit for the cycle.
That's it. Is that all you need? Just that home run out of Billy Louise Yarborough Stadium?
Just probably, 350, 400 feet. That's all you need.
So they're going to try and protect this tie ball game by playing the infield in here with 1 out. As first pitch is high to Tyler Malone. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. Also reached on a walk. Not sure if you call it intentionally walked because just the last pitch was intentional. As Tyler Malone skies one into right field. That one's looked up, and that's going to get over the head of the right fielder. So easily scoring is Sam Lee Curtis. Malone is hustling for 3, and he's going to get in there with the slide. So back-to-back RBI triples, Tyler Malone and Sam Lee Curtis, and the Wildcats now lead 8-7.
Yeah, what a swing by Tyler Malone, but then wasted no time to sit and admire that one. He was on his horse. The right fielder bobbled it for a slight second, and that was the difference between Malone stopping at second and heading over to third for the triple.
So another pitching change. And we will see how the defense aligns because with only 12 men on the roster, there's a lot of shifting that goes along because usually it's somebody on the field already that becomes the new pitcher. So let's recap this top of the 5th for you. Austin Spainhour reached on a single on an interesting play where he popped it sky high. It went foul and drifted back into fair territory. We were surprised that he wasn't being called out, as the new pitcher for the West Coast Kings will be number 12, John Nejedly, as he takes his warm-up tosses. After Spainhour reached on a single, Holman grounded to the second baseman, Nejedly, and Nejedly took the sure out at first and allowed Spainhour to advance to second. Next in this half inning was Sam Lee Curtis, who drove in Spainhour with an RBI triple into the right center field gap after he went to the opposite field. And following that, Tyler Malone pulled one to that right center field gap for an RBI triple as well, and that is your situation right now. John Nejedly taking over for Kyle McKean, and the Auburn Wildcats retake the lead 8-7.
Yeah, the Wildcats are doing an outstanding job. This right here, I mean, this is fun because this is anybody's game. The way that these two offenses are playing right now, I have no idea how this game's going to end.
So Pimm is at short. Schimenz is at third. That has not changed. The new second baseman is now Jason Hare, and McKean moves over to first base.
Number 12, John Nejedly. Back to the Wildcats, third baseman, number 7, Ethan Joyce.
And the power hitting Ethan Joyce, who hit a 2 RBI double in the first, is now up to bat here with a runner at third, less than 2 outs.
The amazing thing for the Wildcats here this game is out of their 11 hits, 6 of them have been extra base hits. They've got a lot of power.
That one's fouled straight back right off the pole. You can hear
Both
it rings.
That was a pole.
It's 0-1 count to Joyce. Looking to hit one into the outfield, drive in Malone. That one low in the dirt. 1-1.
But yeah, like I was saying, very impressive, the power of the Wildcats. They've got 5 singles, but they've got 4 doubles and 2 triples to go along with it. Lots of extra base power, lots of speed, and that's what's allowed them to get these 8 runs.
Nejedly, 1-1. And that one breaks the bat, and that one's off of Pimm's glove. He takes it out at first, but it allows Tyler Malone to score from third. Wildcats tack on another run. They lead 9-7.
Yeah, great job by Pimm to knock that ball down and then complete the play and get the out, but another run scores.
That one just sounded like it hurt the hands of Joyce because I was right in on the hands. You could kind of feel the vibrations from over here. As Jack Veasey is now up with nobody on.
Those are the times when I feel bad for the guys who go without batting gloves.
Yeah, that's for sure. As Jack Veasey, 2 for 3 this afternoon with a single and a run. Also a double and a strikeout. As the shadows have moved in, as Nejedly with the pitch in the dirt, 2-0.
Yeah, the shadows are moving in. The wind's picking up. Definitely tough to play at this time of day.
Yeah, 7:06 is the time of day right now. As that one is chopped to McKean, tossed to Nejedly, and they get the final out. But not before the Wildcats retake the lead by scoring 3 in the top of the 5th. The Auburn Wildcats lead the West Coast Kings 9-7. We will head to the bottom.
If you have an interest in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether it's behind the scenes or on camera,
then this is the class for you.
Class is held every Wednesday from 1:30 to 4:30 in room 121 alongside the library building.
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports, it's an education.
And there you get a look at the new pitcher, Hayden Piner, out of Forest Lake Christian High School. The lefty we've seen a couple different occasions for the Auburn Wildcats. He has electric stuff and can strike a lot of batters out, but we've seen control be an issue in his 2 appearances here on the Solano College Sports Network.
Yeah, we have seen control be an issue, which is going to be a big problem if they want to get to the West Coast Kings here. He's going to have to really bear down and make sure he gets these outs.
So due up here for the West Coast Kings is 7-8-9, Sawyer, Olsen, Dominic Espino, and John Nejedly, the pitcher.
Yeah, the Kings have taken advantage of the 4 walks and 2 hit-by pitches that they've received this game. They don't have all that many hits, so if you're Piner, you got to make them be hitters right now. Challenge them and not walk them.
So Spezia's day is done after 4 innings completed. Piner's first pitch is high for ball 1.
Yeah, and to be specific, the Kings with just 6 hits on the game as opposed to the 11 for the Wildcats. They've taken advantage of a lot of free passes.
Next one is in the dirt, 2-0. So we'll see if Piner, he's already fallen behind 2-0. We've seen control be his Achilles heel so far. 2-0. That one inside, 3-0. And with the lack of width on both sides of the strike zone from the umpire, Piner's erraticness is not something that is favorable here in this at-bat, as that one is in there for strike 1.
Yeah, and he got a little fortunate, too. That pitch looked like it could have gone either way. But you're right. He's got to really just bear down and make sure he throws strikes.
That one's high in foul territory. Dixon is underneath it and puts it away for out number 1. So falling behind 3-0, Olsen is out.
And a good job by Piner to settle down after he got behind 3-0 and throw 2 good pitches in the zone. Got him to turn on one inside and pop it up.
Dominic Espino now with his first at-bat after Dante Perreti, the first baseman, struck out twice. Espino came in to his spot in the bat line and shifted around. So we are here in the top of the 6th. We apologize for some technical malfunctions on our production end as our TriCaster unit froze. Let's recap the bottom of the 5th. As our first 1-2-3 inning, Sawyer Olsen popped up to the first baseman. That might be the last thing you saw. Dominic Espino, then the right fielder, struck out, and John Nejedly flew out to right. Here is John Nejedly on the mound as he faces Jake Faulkner as the first pitch for a ball.
Yeah, it was the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game, and a much-needed one for the Wildcats, who had just reclaimed the lead in the top of the 5th. Top of the 5th.
Yeah, top of the 5th, and now it's top of the 6th. Wildcats still lead 9-7. You're listening to Tristan Vector and myself, Brian Nelson, here on the Solano College Sports Network. The championship game of the Solano Invitational Collegiate Tournament, as Nejedly's next pitch is high, 3-0. Faulkner is 0 for 1 with that walk and a hit by pitch, as well as a strikeout in his 3 plate appearances, and that one is his second walk for Jake Faulkner. That'll bring up Kyle Dixon, who walked in his last at-bat.
Yeah, he was also hit by a pitch, so 3 easy passes to get to first base for Faulkner.
This is the first time he's led off an inning, and he gets on here. There's only 1/2 inning where the leadoff man hasn't gotten on for the Auburn Wildcats. They scored in the first, the second, as Dixon looks at that pitch for a strike. In the third, all 3 leadoff men reached base and scored. In the fourth is the one time that they didn't. In the 5th, they reached on a single and scored. And here in the 6th, first time reaching on a walk, as Dixon fouls one off, 0-2. So 100% rating for the leadoff guys scoring. That's definitely a good formula to being up top 9-7. 0-2. Breaking ball by Dixon is fouled off.
Yeah, that's why it matters so much to get that leadoff batter in any inning on base, because any time that you can do that, you're working downhill in terms of trying to score a run. Your next hitter, his job's going to be to move that runner up, and then your next guy's got a chance to knock him in.
0-2. That one's chopped to the third baseman. Schimenz, he goes to second for 1. Turn at second is not in time by Hare as Dixon reaches on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, he waited just a hair too long with that throw. Had to double clutch it for a second.
There you go, Tristan. Hair too long. Jason Hare, second baseman. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you pretend like I didn't plan that.
Taylor Field, the DH, I almost called him the catcher. He caught a previous game in the series. He's now the designated hitter for this game as looks at a first pitch for a ball.
Good block down there behind the plate. He's got to move this runner up now. Last hitter didn't do his job in moving that runner up, so now it's up to him.
Field fouls one back, 1-1.
RBI single back in the 3rd, so he's contributed to the run parade for the Wildcats today.
The other at-bats for Field was a fly out to right and a strikeout, 1 for 3. Fouled that one back, 1-2.
It's definitely going to go through that net at some point and get Anthony. It gets closer and closer.
Can happen twice in a day.
I was telling him I should have let him use my hockey equipment today.
1-2, hit well into center field, but right at Juarez for out number 2.
Yeah, nice play right there by Juarez. Ball was hit pretty much right at him, over to the right, his left, a couple steps, and he did a good job of taking a direct route over there and getting under it.
It's Austin Spainhour, who singled and scored his first at-bat after coming in for Mike Phelan. Done a great job behind the plate and led off that 5th with the single. So it shows the depth of the Auburn Wildcats that you can lose your starting catcher and replace him with this guy as he gets his second hit. That moves up the runner from first Kyle Dixon into scoring position, and Spainhour is on with a 2-out single.
Yeah, definitely a good point. Spainhour with a pair of singles since having to come on for the ejected Phelan. He has definitely showing the depth for the Wildcats here as a backup catcher. He's done a fine job. No pass balls. He's made a lot of blocks.
And done a great job with the pitching staff as they've really settled down since that first inning. They only 2 innings they scored their runs in both the first and the fourth, as that one's fouled off. As Anthony Williams, our home plate cameraman, is getting target practice. 0-1 count. Taylor Holman, second baseman. That one's in the dirt. Blocked well by Soderman. 1-1. Holman is 1 for 3 with a single, a fly out, and a fielder's choice out.
Holman got to look for the right pitch here. 1-1.
That one is not the right pitch, as it is in the dirt. 2-1.
Seemed like the right pitch to that one guy that struck out on the ball in front of the plate earlier, but not the right pitch for Holman.
2-1 is the count to Holman. Runners at first and second. 2 out here for John Nejedly. He's trying to pitch out of this jam. That one is in there. 2-2.
Yeah, a good pitch right there by Nejedly. 2-2. Right here, Holman obviously has to protect now. He no longer has the luxury of looking for the right pitch. He's got to swing at anything close.
It's a completely different at bat from 3-1. So huge strike there. 2-2. Chopped to the shortstop, Pimm. Going to make a long throw, and he gets him easily for the out number 3. So a scoreless top of the 6th keeps this deficit for the West Coast Kings 9-7. We will head to the bottom of the 6th for the West Coast Kings. They have the top of the lineup: Pimm, Juarez, and Schimenz due up for the West Coast Kings. Bottom of the 6th, Hayden Piner still on the mound for the Auburn Wildcats, facing Graham Pimm to lead off as Pimm looks at a high pitch for ball 1. 2-3. 2 for 3 is Graham Pimm with 2 singles and a run. That one's taken for a ball. 2-2. And with the 5-6 Pimm being in the strike zone is going to be a lot more tougher for Piner.
Yeah, hate it when it gets more tougher for the pitcher.
And 2-1, is the count.
Did you change your battery yet, Elizabeth?
That one is chopped to the shortstop. Long throw. Pimm is out. So a little shortstop on shortstop violence as Malone throws out his fellow shortstop for the first out. Eddie Juarez is now coming up to bat.
Juarez
is 0 for 1. You have to when you say it.
Eddie Juarez.
As he's been hit by a pitch and walked.
Also lined it over to third.
Yeah, Schimenz made a great play on a liner with the runners at the corners as Juarez looks at that next pitch for strike 2.
Yeah, back-to-back nice pitches to start off this at-bat here. It's 0-2. He wasn't ready to swing.
That one is hit past the shortstop in the 5.5 hole. So a 1-out single for Eddie Juarez, his first hit of the afternoon. That brings up Jacob Schimenz. 1 for 2, single, walk, and a flyout. 2 runs scored and 1 RBI driven in.
Yeah, it's his first hit of the afternoon, and it's a big one coming in the bottom of the 6th inning where if he doesn't get that hit, you're looking at nobody on, 2 outs, probably nothing doing for the Kings this inning, but you get that runner on there with 1 out despite the 0-2 count, and now they have an opportunity with the tying run at the plate.
And that tying run is Jacob Schimenz, who looks at that first pitch for a strike. Piner checks at the runner at first and comes home. That one is a ball. Even count 1-1.
I feel like the Kings are trying to play into the Wildcat strategy a little too much. The way that they slowed their at-bats down and were more patient. Because the first inning they were jumping on all the first pitches.
And that one
scored
hit well
4 runs.
Into the outfield that's going to drop down in front of the center fielder, Curtis. So back-to-back singles, Juarez and Schimenz. Puts runner at first and second, Schimenz.
Yeah, they scored 4. They scored 4 in the first inning, and in that first inning they were pretty much jumping on first pitch strikes every single at bat. And since then they haven't been doing it as much and only scored 3 since. I feel like they might want to get back to that, only if it's a first pitch strike, obviously, but not falling behind in the count so much.
Jason Hare here looks at a first pitch ball. Hare has 2 RBIs here this afternoon, 1 for 2 with a double, a strikeout, and a walk. That one is hit foul. 1-1.
Just a little too far out in front of that. We've seen a whole lot of guys turn on those inside pitches and hit them just foul towards that left field line.
And the third baseman, Joyce, isn't hugging the line like we saw with Sam Lee Curtis early on. As Hare with a 1-1 is in the dirt. Nice block by Spainhour. 2-1.
Yeah, great block by Spainhour. That ball really sped up after it hit the dirt.
Men on first and second. Schimenz standing at first. Excuse me. Juarez standing at second for Jason Hare. Swung on a missed. Strike 2.
Yeah, good pitch right there on the outside corner. He was not quite able to catch up to that one.
So here, digs back in the box. Piner comes set. And home. Ball 3.
Big pitch coming up here now at the full count. Runner on, 1 out. You don't want to put 2 on. Or rather, already 2 on. You don't want to put the bases loaded, I mean.
Yeah, game go-ahead run is at the plate as he singles. High chopper to left, and they're going to hold the runner. So the bases will be loaded. 3 straight singles from the West Coast Kings. As Auburn will call timeout.
And maybe they're going to switch pitchers?
Yeah, they're going to call in Jack Veasey. He is their closer and played right field for the Wildcats to start at this ball game.
Yeah, we saw Veasey pitch in the earlier Wildcats game that we broadcasted.
Yeah, they won that game 9-6. They scored 9 here. That was their lucky number during the pool play. We'll see how lucky they are here in the championship game. You're watching the Solano College Sports Network. This is the 2016 championship, and we'd like to thank Alexis Rojas, and we'll miss you as she departs this summer class and goes down to Southern California to continue her education. So we'd like to thank Alexis for her contributions this summer.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime that you add someone to this broadcasting class, it's just adding another member to the family. And Alexis has been more than just exceptional on the cameras. She's done a terrific job there, even done some reporting. So definitely want to say good luck to her as well in her future endeavors down there in Southern California.
Yeah, and also Julia McKay, who's not here, and also going down to Southern California. And we'll throw it over to Alexis as you see her smiling face for a moment. So if you're down in SoCal, you see that smiling face, and just know that's part of the SCSN family.
Yeah, and goodbye to Julia as well. Like you said, she also did a good job on the cameras. So losing a couple members of the crew this time around. You'll be losing me as well.
Yeah, I was about to say thank you as well for a whole year of your announcing service, as we've done a lot of different games. We did football, kind of broke you in. You were a little quiet there, and now we can't stop you. You're creative a monster.
Yeah, this is your own fault right here. This is I'm a creation of your own doing. But yeah, football games we got in on, and then had me doing some basketball, some awful camera work in the volleyball games. Had me on softball, and now we have been here on baseball for several months.
Now that it's over, was that your strategy, to be terrible on the camera so they'll ask you to do other things?
No, I wasn't intentionally terrible. I just wasn't good at it.
But hey, I think you found your niche here in the booth next to me, as Kyle McKean, the former pitcher, is now at first base. He came in to relieve Kyle Franco initially and is now at first. He is in the box with the bases loaded, as Jack Veasey is on the mound.
And we saw Veasey close out the Wildcats' win last time in a scoreless inning in the 7th. Here he is coming in a little bit of longer relief situation, because I assume they're going to expect him to pitch the 7th inning as well.
Yeah, looking for a 5-out save here for the Auburn Wildcats. Bases loaded. He is inherited as he gets his first strike. Now a 2-1 count to McKean.
No better guy to bring in this situation, a high-stress situation. Closers are used to high-stress situations. They pitch in them just about every game.
That one lifted to the outfield spot. That is going to fall in fair territory. So 1 run scores, 2 runs will score, as they will hold up the runner at second in Schimenz. With Hare, as Juarez and Schimenz score on a 2-run double here to tie up the ball game 9-9.
That was a huge hit right there to tie up this ball game. A little bit lucky, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. He dropped that one in just in fair territory in between the first baseman and the right fielder. Nobody was going to get that ball, and now you have second and third, 1 out, and an opportunity to take the lead, what could be the go-ahead and potential winning runs.
So Veasey gets Soderman to fly to the right field. They're going to tag. Hare comes home. Strong throw. And the throw beat him, but he could not catch it. And Hare is safe as Spainhour dropped the ball. What an amazing throw from right field.
Outstanding job by Soderman, too. He took the first pitch that he got, and he flew it to right field, to the opposite field. There was no way that they were going to have an easy play there. I didn't think they were really going to have a chance, but a strong throw came in, and it was just dropped by Spainhour at the plate in a bang-bang play. Huge opportunity for the Kings now.
So all 3 runs that were attributed to Hayden Piner have come across the score. The West Coast Kings now lead at 10-9. So amazing comeback, as Soderman with the go-ahead sac fly at this point. Sawyer Olsen swings and misses, 0-2. So it's a tough spot to come in, bases loaded, 1 out, and Veasey was able to get 1 out but allowed all 3 runs to score.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Veasey, even though he hasn't given up a run on his own yet, that runner at third is his property. He is going to get a blown save because it was a save situation when he came in.
And give credit to Jake Faulkner, who moved from left to right with Veasey coming in with that strong throw to make that sac fly close. I didn't think he had any shot.
Me neither.
And Faulkner with a gun, and Spainhour just dropped the ball figuratively and literally.
Not an easy play to make. Definitely want to mention that, but yeah, he did drop the ball.
That one gets past the third baseman, Joyce. So that scores a second run, as Sawyer Olsen gets in there with a 2-out double. So the lead is extended 11-9.
One thing that can't be discounted here is the cool under pressure that the Kings have showed this game. They've really never seemed to get 2 up or 2 down emotion-wise. The Wildcats have a few times, and the Kings did a great job of being calm and collected. That right there, I mean, that's a 2-out RBI in this situation. Big swing by Sawyer Olsen.
And that brings up Dominic Espino, who struck out to Piner. This spot has been very unlucky for the West Coast Kings. Perreti and Espino have combined for 3 strikeouts and 3 at-bats. First pitch is a ball. Veasey trying to get out of this inning, and that one's lifted to right field to Faulkner. He puts his hand up, and he's underneath it for out number 3. But the West Coast Kings come back and score and take the lead here, 11-9. Last chance for the Auburn Wildcats in this championship game. The West Coast Kings lead 11-9, heading to the top of the 7th.
Hey everybody, it's Alexis Rojas, SCSN reporter. Thanks for watching Solano College Sports Network.
Top of the lineup here in the top of the 7th. Last chance for the Auburn Wildcats. By no means is this game over, as this has been an electric offensive game as Sam Curtis looks at a first pitch strike. 20 runs in 6 full innings.
And 12 extra base hits between the two teams. A whole lot of running around the bases.
Curtis hits one to the shortstop. Pimm, long throw, not in time. Curtis beats that one out for a 4th hit for the leadoff hitter, Sam Lee Curtis.
Yeah, as soon as he put that one on the ground, you knew he had a great chance to beat it out. 4th hit of the ball game for Sam Lee Curtis. He has easily been the player of the game for the Auburn Wildcats. 4 hits now for Sam Lee Curtis.
So Tyler Malone, who's been equally good behind him, 2 for 3, a single, a triple, 2 RBIs. See what he does against Nejedly, as Nejedly's pitch is outside for ball 1. Next pitch from Nejedly is high for ball 2. Curtis not being held on by the first baseman, McKean. That one's a ball again, 3-0. So Nejedly falls behind 3-0, and the pitching woes for the Kings continue.
Yeah, Curtis isn't really being held on by the first baseman like you said, so I'm surprised he hasn't gone yet. Maybe he's still timing it.
Maybe you don't have to steal if he's going to walk you on 4 pitches, but Tyler Malone looks at that 3-0 pitch in there for strike 1. There you see the look at the shadows that have crept in. That one hit high to center field. Juarez is underneath it. Puts it away for out number 1. So that's a huge first out to get if you're John Nejedly.
Getting pretty fast. Good job.
That brings up the third baseman, number 7, Ethan Joyce.
So only 2 more outs to go here. The Wildcats need to get another base runner on so they can have the tying run on. Of course, Ethan Joyce has some power we've seen earlier with that double. Maybe he's in scoring position in the batter's box.
And he came up clutch in the semifinals with that walk-off walk with the bases loaded as he looks at strike 1. So this is a part of the lineup if you're the Auburn Wildcats that you want up 3, 4 due up with Ethan Joyce at the plate and Jack Veasey, the pitcher, on deck. 1-1 is the count. 1 out. Sam Lee Curtis standing at first. That one's outside for ball 2.
Joyce with a hitter's count right here. Got to be careful not to chase anything.
Nejedly comes set, 2-1. That one hit well to the right field side, but Espino looks like he's underneath it for out number 2. So after a leadoff single, back-to-back flyouts, and we are 1 out away from a tournament champion. Last opportunity is Jack Veasey, who's the tying run. Came into pitch last half inning.
Yeah, we've seen he knows how to work the stick. He's 2 for 4, a single and a 2-run double.
He looks at a first pitch for a ball.
And that pitch has been a strike most of the game.
Can't get frustrated if you're Nejedly. Got to stay in the strike zone, 1-0. That one hit well. High drive, deep into the outfield, and that one is gone. Tie ball game. Auburn Wildcats 11-11. Jack Veasey with a 2-run shot.
That is unbelievable. I've got goosebumps right now. Tie game with 2 outs in the 7th. They were down to the last out. He hit a home run.
4 RBIs now for Jack Veasey. Hey, you come in with the bases loaded. You give up the lead. No worries, fellas. I got you. 2-run home run tied up.
Oh, man, I said in the last at-bat that they needed to get another runner on base for the tying run, but maybe Joyce had the power to be in scoring position from the batter's box. Well, Veasey was in scoring position from the batter's box. That was a bomb.
So, like I said, it's far from over with the offense that we've seen from the Wildcats. It is now 11-11 in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, and the momentum shifts back to the side of the Auburn Wildcats. So a much-needed meeting at the mound with head coach David Castillo with his pitcher John Nejedly. Got to refocus your pitcher after giving up that tying home run with 2 outs. You think you're 1 out away, and all of a sudden you're still in this game.
What more could you ask for in a championship game right here? Tie game now, 2 outs, final inning. Unbelievable.
So the catcher Soderman goes back behind the mound, and Nejedly has to refocus himself for Jake Faulkner, who is 0 for 1, 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Also struck out. Nejedly pitches that one high, ball 1.
And a good coaching visit to the mound right there, obviously. You got to settle the pitcher down after a moment like that.
That one fouled high, and Soderman gives chase to it, but it is out of play. Back behind us, strike 1.
And if you're Faulkner, you got to give him a good at-bat right here. You know he's flustered.
That breaking ball, that looked close, but is called a ball, 2-1.
Yeah, somehow that one missed.
Nejedly with the pitch, swung on and missed, 2-2. Foul tipped into the glove of Soderman. So 1 strike away from getting the Kings offense back at the plate, 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Faulkner for out number 3, but not before Jack Veasey comes up clutch. 2 outs, 2-run home run. We will have a bottom of the 7th for you when we come back. Tie score 11-11. John Nejedly, number 9 hitter, the pitcher, gave up the game-tying run to the pitcher on the mound, Jack Veasey. Then Graham Pimm, Eddie Juarez due up here for the West Coast Kings in the bottom of the 7th. Last half inning of regulation. We will see if the West Coast Kings can't walk this one off as Nejedly pops this one up and gives chase. Does the catcher Spainhour towards the West Coast Kings dugout, and it is not played. Lands in foul territory for strike 1.
He just missed that one as it was landing a little to his left. The only reason he didn't make that catch really is just because the dugout's right there and he had to keep looking down to see where he was, made sure he didn't run into that wall.
So Nejedly stays alive, 0-1 with a lucky break to not get that one caught in foul territory. Veasey with the pitch, taken, strike 2.
Quickly ahead, 0-2. A whole lot of momentum for Veasey after that home run. Obviously, he's riding that right now as the pitcher.
Breaking ball swung on and missed by Nejedly for strike 3. Nejedly has struck out for the 2nd time this afternoon.
Sometimes there's just certain guys that have your number. Veasey hits a home run off of him and then he strikes him out.
And I think they noticed a hole in Nejedly's swing. That's the 2nd time they've gotten him low and inside. So we'll be aware of that should this game continue past the 7th inning. But Graham Pimm looks to get on base for the 3rd time as he is 2 for 4 as he looks at a first pitch strike.
Man, even the velocity's up from the last inning for Veasey. Everything seems to be up right now.
Yeah, the adrenaline definitely putting a couple extra miles per hour on that fastball as that next pitch is taken high for ball 1.
Yeah, he almost threw that one a little too hard.
1-1, 1 out. Pimm swings and misses, 1-2.
You could just hear the different sound in the catcher's mitt right now. Veasey is pumping.
He wants to get his offense back on the playing field to try and get the win in extra innings. Pimm looking to get on here, 1-2. That one hit to the opposite field. Gonna hang up for Faulkner. Out number 2.
Yeah, good job by Pimm to keep his hands back on that one. He knew he was down in the count, but he managed to drive it to the other side, but he hit it right at the right fielder.
And this is the difference with Veasey being your closer. Coming in, bases loaded, 1 out. That's not a situation where your closer is going to be comfortable with. Nobody out, fresh inning. We've seen 2 quick outs as Eddie Juarez is the last chance for the West Coast Kings to get something going here in the bottom of the 7th. Looks at a first pitch ball. 1-0 pitch. Taken outside, 2-0. Oh, it's actually called a strike.
Yeah, I was surprised as you were, 1-1.
It was pretty outside from where he was calling. But it caught the outside corner, 1-1. That one fouled straight back, 1-2.
Swung right at my head on that one.
1-2. Ahead in the count is Veasey yet again, as he's been ahead in the count all 3 hitters, and that one was taken for ball 2.
And the Kings doing a good job, at least Juarez right now doing a good job of taking his time and working the count a little bit, knowing Veasey's feeling pretty good. He's slowing him down.
2-2 pitch is chopped to the third base side. Joyce will let the shortstop handle it. And did he beat it out? He got him. So he stayed on the bag, did Kyle Dixon. Tyler Malone with a nice play. It was a close one, but they get it for the 3rd and final out. So we will be heading to extra innings here in this 2016 championship game for the Solano Invitational Collegiate Tournament. So due up here in this top of the 8th is the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Kyle Dixon, Taylor Field, and Austin Spainhour. John Nejedly is still on the mound.
So because this game could end due to darkness, due to the lack of lights here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium, it appears they're going to let each team start off with a runner on base. As you see over at first, the last hitter who is out is the runner that's going to be on first base, so that'll be Faulkner.
So interesting rule here.
Yeah. No outs.
So nobody out, runner at first. Trying to jumpstart the offensive scoring so that we get a winner here. So Faulkner, who struck out to end that last half inning, Kyle Dixon is now at the plate. Nejedly, that one taken for strike 1.
Yeah, because of really, there's the lack of lights, and then you also have these big trees over here on the left side that shade the entire field. It just looks so dark right now.
Yeah, the time is 7:50. Usually gets dark around like 8:30, as that one is in there for a strike.
Yeah, and we've seen it twice now this season. For the Falcons, they had games called due to darkness. Dark skies for one game, it was just cloudy that day, and then the other one, it got too late at night.
There's actually a new pitcher, Jason Hare, as Nejedly goes back to second, as Dixon swings and misses, strike 3. Now everybody's going to be pressing here with the game closing in as the shadows are approaching, and there's a runner at base on first. So it's going to be important for each of these offenses to take their time and not press too hard.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take your time if you're the individual hitter, but obviously the fans don't want to see you take your time because we don't want to see no tie here.
Exactly. So we'll see what Taylor Field does here. The DH, 1 for 4, single, strikeout, 2 flyouts. That one's his well to the outfield. That's going to get down. Faulkner rounds second. It gets to the well. Faulkner rounds third. Field is going to get in with a RBI triple. So Taylor Field with the go-ahead triple here in the top of the 8th, and that's exactly what that rule's instated for. There was nobody on, and Faulkner is put out at first base due to the rule, and Field drives him in with a triple. So the Wildcats now lead 12-11 here with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Hare with the pitch. That is hit well by Spainhour into the outfield. That is being caught by the left fielder. That is going to allow Field to tag and score. So Spainhour with the sacrifice fly. Wildcats lead 13-11.
Yeah, great approach right there by Field and by Spainhour. Both of them getting the ball deep into the outfield, knowing that the shadows are out there. It's going to be difficult to track any balls that are hit to the outfield right now. Good job also in left to make that catch, but 2 runs for the Wildcats, riding that momentum. It seemed like they were out of the game.
Yeah, just like the game against the M's in the semifinals when they were down 1 in the bottom of the 7th, and they came and scored 2 in that half inning and are here in the championship game. Now they come from behind yet again, are ahead by 2 here at 13-11.
Yeah, if they can hold on to this one, there would have been a couple of unbelievably dramatic wins for them here in this tournament.
And what a way to end a heck of a tournament hosted here at Solano Community College. Give thanks to Bobby Campo and Coach Scott Stover for putting on a great event here, as that one is fouled into foul territory, and that is going to be put away for the 3rd and final out. So the West Coast Kings will be batting in the bottom of the 8th. They trail by 2. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Brian Nelson, Assistant Director here at SCSN. Thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
So Jacob Schimenz here in the bottom of the 8th. The same rule applies here for the Kings as Eddie Juarez, who got the last out in the last half inning in the bottom of the 7th, is standing at first base. Schimenz looks at a first pitch ball. Veasey still on the mound. That one is foul tipped. Strike 1.
Yeah, Veasey still on the mound trying to get the win here in this game, even though he had the blown save back in the 8th. 1-1 count now.
And taken for ball 2. 2-1. Schimenz looking to get a hit here with Juarez standing at first. Veasey taken. Strike 2.
Yeah, Veasey's still on fire from that last inning, obviously stemming from his at-bat in the top of the 7th where he hit the homer, and then bottom of the 7th, 1-2-3 inning.
2-2, chopped. Joyce gets, it goes for the one at second and thrown into right field. So there's going to be safe at runners at first and third. Joyce did a great job of catching that relay throw, making sure that didn't get past him. Otherwise, Juarez could have scored.
Yeah, but tough throw over there to second. You just got to make that play in this situation. Now you have the tying run on base when you had the chance to turn a potential double play. Huge mistake
I would
right
say
there
that
at third.
That was very aggressive to get the runner going to second. You get the 1 out. Veasey's been in control. Just pitched a 1-2-3 inning.
Definitely.
And now you have runners at the corners. No out for Jason Hare, the DH / first baseman / second baseman / pitcher. Played 4 different positions here in this championship game as he looks at ball 2.
Yeah, I would agree. It was definitely aggressive, but judging by the throw, it did beat the runner. So if it had been accurate, they would have gotten at least 1 out, if not 2.
That one's low, ball 3. So
And
it's
now
one pitch
it's
away
a
from a bases
completely
loaded
different
situation.
game. Bases loaded, nobody out would be just an awful situation to be in if you're Veasey.
So back and forth goes this ball game. Bottom of the 8th. The first extra inning here in the championship game here fouls that one off. Runner at third and Eddie Juarez. Runner at first and Jacob Schimenz. Jack Veasey on the mound. 3-1 is the count. The pitch hit well into the outfield. That is drifting foul. No one is going to get there. So a full count now for Jason Hare.
And you almost, as a right fielder in that situation, don't catch that ball. When you have the double play opportunity, you've got the infield in. A lot of people would say in this situation, you wouldn't catch that ball because if you were to make that run and catch, there's no chance you have of throwing him out at home and he scores a run. It's almost like conceding the run on the infield.
So 3-2, nobody out. Jason Hare takes the walk. Bases loaded. Nobody out.
Oh gosh, and I just typed in the players of the game.
And Kyle McKean, who has 3 RBIs here. 3 for 4, a single, 2 doubles, a run scored, 3 RBIs. And this is the guy you want, your your number 5 hitter with the bases loaded against Jack Veasey.
Veasey needs to be very careful.
He just pitches that one outside, and Spanauer just got there.
The unfortunate thing about this situation is Kyle McKean, who's been the best hitter on the Kings by far. You can't pitch around him because the bases are loaded.
McKean fouls one straight back into the glove of Spanauer.
You're going to have to go at him like that and challenge him and hope he doesn't burn you. McKean's got the type of power, though, that the wrong pitch and McKean can end this game.
1-1. Veasey the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Good block by Spanauer. You don't want to give up a run for free by letting a ball get past you. Eddie Juarez at third.
You're also behind in the count with no place to put him.
2-1. Jack Veasey the pitch. Taken on the outside corner, 2-2.
That was a great pitch right there on the outside corner. Perfectly placed by Veasey.
So getting ahead in the count of McKean, 2-2. Taken for a ball, 3-2. So bases loaded, nobody out. West Coast Kings trail 13-11 here in the bottom of the 8th.
And
big
a
situation.
Full count right here for McKean. He's got to be ready.
Veasey with the pitch. Hits it high in the infield. Called off by the shortstop Malone, and he puts it away. Infield fly rule in effect. Out number 1.
That is a huge out for Veasey right there. He got McKean to get under it, got the fastball elevated a little bit. Great pitch from Jack Veasey. Now with the infield at double play depth, he still has a chance to get out of this game.
Ray Soderman looking to not hit into that double play with 1 out. He swings and misses at the first pitch, strike 1.
And Veasey still running on that adrenaline. He's pitching it a lot harder than he was at first. He's giving it everything he's got right now, and he was late on that fastball.
Swing and a miss, foul tipped into the glove of Spanauer, 0-2.
And he's late on it again. Veasey coming with the heat right now.
Auburn Wildcats lead this ball game 13-11. The go-ahead triple by the DH Jason Field put them on top 12-11, and he's eventually scored for that 13th run. Soderman lifts it into the outfield. Faulkner is underneath it. We saw Faulkner's arm, and they are not going to test it again, as that was a wise decision. You don't want to make the last out at home when you are not the game-tying run.
It's a really tough throw to make, so it really could go either way, that decision. If you send him, he probably scores, but you still would need a hit because it's 2 outs. So ultimately that decision's wise because you can score 2 on a single if it's placed right.
And that is all on the shoulders of Sawyer Olsen, who has 4 RBIs here, 2 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 flyouts. Veasey looks at a high pitch. Olsen does 1-0.
And if Veasey gets out of this, I mean, oh my God, you see him with the hitting. If he gets out of a bases loaded, no out jam.
But he has to get into the strike zone, 2-0. Count. That one is chopped to the shortstop, Malone. This could be it. He goes to the second base side, and he gets him for out number 3. Veasey pitches out of the bases loaded, nobody out jam, and your 2016 Solano Invitational Tournament champions are the Auburn Wildcats. What a heck of a game, Tristan. How can you put that into words?
Yeah, I can't. You can't help but feel like the Wildcats, even though they were pretty much even skill level with these other teams, like they were the underdogs for most of this tournament. They won one of their pool play games like this dramatically. They won their semifinal game on a walk-off. And now here they come with the most dramatic of all of the games. Back and forth all game long. Both teams had leads quite a bit. They get in the 7th. They're down to their last out. They tie the game. They get out of trouble. They score 2 more in the top of the 8th, and then they pitch out of a bases-loaded no-out jam. Jack Veasey, can we talk about him for a second? Oh, my God. 2-run game-tying homer, gets the win, and pitches out of the jam.
Yeah, just congratulations to both teams for putting on a spectacular show here in the championship game. West Coast Kings, you put up a valiant effort, but the Auburn Wildcats, this is your day. Congratulations for winning the 2016 Solano Invitational Collegiate Tournament. And what a heck of a game to end our summer season of covering baseball here at the Solano College Sports Network. Thank you for everybody around the ballpark. Thank you, our camera people, our production people, for Brian Nelson, Tristan Vector. You've been watching the Solano College Sports Network. The Auburn Wildcats win this game 13-11 in extra innings. Now the only thing we can do is speak to our best 5 players of the game with an interview with McKenna Guerrero.